opinions expressed by the Love of the Game pod are their opinions and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of SUVTV, its sponsors, or affiliates.
I read that again. Successfully, might I add.
2 for 2.
Hey, man, look, y'all gonna have to give me my flowers at some point, dog. You know,
I'm to put a vase right here.
Hey, the kid from Louisville, Kentucky, out of Fern Creek High School, is reading very well. I'm not gonna diss my
What's
school,
your high
bro.
school called?
Relax.
Fern Bank.
Fern
the
Bank?
museum.
I said Fern Creek.
Oh,
Fern Creek?
That's like an elementary
You're in
school,
Creekside.
though.
Fern.
It's like an elementary school.
I've never.
Y'all got-
Anyway, go
Look,
ahead.
you know what? We about to do some Wikipedia searches. I'm finding out where everybody went to elementary school. If they got pictures. I'm on y'all head. I just want y'all to know I'm on y'all head now. Fellas, we had a pretty good week this week. Well, some of us had a good week this week. Non-coaches had a good week this week. Y'all might have had a tough week this week, but, you know.
We may get to it later, but you know, the hardest thing for a coach to do is to kill someone's dream. And a lot of that had to go down this week with anybody that coaches at the high school level.
For a lot of different reasons, I feel like, based off of a lot of the feedback that I've been getting, is the reasoning behind it has been kind of all over the place. It ain't always necessarily this kid just isn't good enough, or like sometimes it's numbers or whatever, like grades, yeah.
Behavior.
Parents.
Yeah.
God.
Keeping it in the book.
Hey man, let's get to the intro, brother. Good grief, like early. To my left, former state champion, future state champion, my brother from Ben Hill. No one realer. I was there. 2014, 3 NBA players on the same team at the same time. Y'all did not want that smoke. It was a problem in that gym. They add street lights out there since you've been gone, because it was dark when I was on them roads trying to come out there in St. Francis.
It used to be dark on those roads.
It was dark. They've added street lights, man. I don't know how you should feel about that. They got more street lights since you've been gone. The head coach of the Holy Innocents Episcopal School Golden Bears.
Straight government.
Full government. Coach Huff, what's good, brother?
It's a great show today with our special guest. So we ready to get this thing rolling, man. Obviously, me and B Will had some Morehouse men activities to do this weekend. So that plus tryouts and practice.
It's been a busy week, but my slate, I'm good. I'm focused now. Like Jay-Z said, I'm focused, man. Like, I'm focused now. Like, I'm good. I'm locked in.
Hey, Love of the Game Army. Man, y'all gonna love this, bro. Y'all gonna love this show, man. Like this, y'all understand what they expect from us. Y'all know what we trying to bring to the table. Yes, I'm beating my chest right now. We in our bag right now. We always bring you the best of the best, period. The best of the best from this city always pull up and sit down at the show. And today is nothing different, I promise you. We like you said, Coach, we raising the bar.
Raising that bar, high expectations.
Next level. But that's what y'all expect from this show. You know what I'm saying? To my right.
Hope. Make sure you gas me up first.
I got you.
All right.
A future state champion in his own right. Y'all really didn't want that Georgia Canes problem on the circuit in the spring or in July.
Keep going. I'm just kidding.
You know,
The man. I got more. I got bars this morning. $1 million worth of scholarship. Over $1 million in scholarships. Touch this man's hands over the summertime. That means his kids got on at the next level. Mm-hmm. Assistant coach at Creekside. And the head coach for the Georgia Canes. One of the best independent programs in the country. don't need a sneaker team. Those circuits are nice. It's not mandatory for success. Your organization has proven it. Be Will, what up?
Chilling, man. Chilling. I mean, I appreciate the intro. That was
I'm
A1 right
flexing.
there.
It's nothing.
That was A1.
It's nothing.
Hey, I mean, honestly, I want all the smoke. I don't got nothing to lose. My first year, like, I think I won 2 games. And Locke will tell you, I probably won 2 games in live period. I can't go out like that no more. So,
Right.
you know, it is what it is.
I don't think y'all had that problem this past summer.
Nah.
It was lit.
Yeah.
To my left, South Georgia favorite son. The South Georgia evangelist is what I'm calling Locke right now.
That's a pretty
He's the
good
preaching the
name,
gospel of South Georgia. The owner, operator of the hottest camp, the biggest platform for freshmen in the country.
And that open run is on fire right now.
On fire right now.
Got the streets on fire.
Got him talking.
Ooh, they talking about everybody else open run.
In his mind. After Locke did his open run, we saw like 3 or 4
Finish mine.
Instagram popping up.
Everybody
Like
got
high school season start, man. They need to be with their high school coaches. They don't need to do nothing with me. It's strictly high school right now.
owner, operator of Locke's Way Hoops. Dante Matlock, what's good, bro?
What's good, man? Lots of ways the only way.
Hey, man. So the NBA season kicked off this week.
Oh, you already know, Andre.
Yeah, and I know where you're going, Huff. Go ahead, get it off.
Did you see the first 2 Hawks games?
Look,
That boy Trey Young is up.
he's
Hey.
eating. No, he eat.
So you can admit you were wrong.
He
Hold on, what did you say about
So-
Trey Young?
He
What?
was a bust.
He was
That's
a
what
bust.
he said.
Whoa!
I did not go that far.
Yeah.
He said it on the phone? On the,
No, he said no. Go back to the podcast.
He said on the podcast, yeah.
before SUV TV.
Yeah.
Dang.
I said,
When we was doing the phone
I
calls,
said
10 o'clock at
that
night.
I would take Colin.
Oh, he did say
He
that.
did say that.
I'm still wrong, but I didn't say bust. I said
Hey,
I would
Trey
take Colin.
Young is nasty.
He's ornery. It's ridiculous. It don't make no sense.
Sheesh.
38,
It's
9-7, and
Seven.
39, 9-7.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that the only way, the part of it where I do feel bad for the young bull. He went to a team that built the perfect team for him. Trey Young, every draft pick has been a smash. Like they killed the draft this year.
But you also got to remember, they killed him last year around this time. November, December, and he wasn't where he.
No, he was shooting like
but when he
30% from the
when
field.
When that January hit,
He turned it up. He cooking.
he ain't looked back since.
Hey, boy, cooking. But they put a lot of pieces around him of guys that can play, that fit that style of play, that open, the way they opening up the floor, man.
The biggest thing I noticed, though, about them, at least early, defensively, they're totally better than they were last year.
A lot, yeah.
Totally better than they were last year.
They are. Shout out to the Hawks. I'll be at some games. I wanted the young bull. I'm not gonna be ashamed of that. But hey, Trey Young cooking right now. Like he on another level.
Yeah.
He looked like a certified like all-star. Like he gonna be eating
He
for a
looked
minute
more
out.
than he looked like a superstar Atlanta been needing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
The new Atlanta.
I'll tell you who I feel the worst for. Hey man, Dennis Smith Jr. got booed in New York.
I saw that.
Oh my God. Hey,
I
bro,
saw that.
when
I saw that.
When you can get an NBA fan to say we want Frank, they talk about. Hey fam, when the fans are screaming that they want somebody who most people, if I told you his full name, would be like, who?
Yeah.
You're in bad shape, bro. I felt bad for him. Like when he, like the look on his face, like I felt bad like that.
Let me ask you.
New York, I went too far in game 2, bro. Like, come on.
But on the flip side, RJ Barrett's been hooping.
And I did not say he was.
You did. I remember that. You did.
I still don't know if I'm buying it.
I think. Shit.
Okay.
I don't know. B.
Okay.
I'm gonna ride with y'all on that, but I don't know.
Let me
You
ask you this.
You
Dre.
0 for 2.
Yeah, you back, Dre, yeah.
0 for 2, Trey Young.
I don't know if I'm buying it.
He over 3 too. He ain't get the finals right either. But let me ask you this, Dre. So you feel worse for Dennis Smith or KCP?
Oh, nah.
Hey, man.
KCP is down bad right now.
They
killing
button bad
KCP.
right now.
KCP gonna be fine.
They put him on the milk mug.
They put him on the
He's got
Missy, yes.
LeBron on
The
his
little
side.
Twitter.
He's gonna be
Yeah.
fine because he
No,
got
what I'm
LeBron on his
saying,
side.
I can't remember a time that KCP has been in this situation. It's different when you playing with LeBron on this. Like last year, I feel like they got a pass.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody really like
give
LeBron went over there.
excuses,
All the attention was on LeBron. Now you got LeBron and AD. Now the championship is different. Now when you're expected, to me, it's different between going out there and hooping. But now when every shot you take really matters to that team, like I don't know that he's ever been in that position before.
Man, he just got to make shots.
He just
man.
got to,
You don't have to make
it's a
shots.
it's a confidence
You're
thing.
there to make
clearly.
shots
You
and
gotta
play
make shots.
defense. and right
But it
now,
doesn't
you
help
took
that,
them wins.
like, their media and whoever else, like, they're just coming
Hey,
up
them
with
lights bright.
outrageous
Them lights
numbers
bright,
and
bro.
stats.
Yeah.
Like, KCP played 20 minutes today. He had 0 points and 0. Like
2 assists. Yeah, that's crazy how they doing
Hey,
it.
they
why they
busting
go?
him
Like, they
down.
going
Yeah.
at his neck.
Yes, they
Like,
are.
they going at him.
They busting KCP.
But
down.
it's
I ain't even
partly because of the money he's making.
How much
Yeah.
you make?
It's a lot.
Yeah, I think he redid it.
But the NBA is throwing out money. Like
Yeah.
it's monopoly money right now. So
yeah.
I went to
make
Lakers
that-
game
make that
like
bread.
2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago when Lonzo was there? He was all right. He wasn't like he was straight to me. I don't know.
speaking of
It's
which,
been rough.
Brandon Ingram been balling too.
Yeah, he had 35.
Yeah.
Tonight. You know,
Really?
yeah, he had 35.
Lonzo has like
And he had like
Lonzo only
18
has
and 10
2
or
assists,
something.
right? I mean 2 turnovers in like
Yeah.
3 games. Yeah.
Lonzo was gonna ball.
No, his shot. You seen his shot?
It ain't translating to wins yet, but Lonzo gonna ball. I think.
Shout out to Derrick Rose. Man,
We talk about what I got wrong. De'Aaron Fox looks well. De'Aaron Fox
Not
is
last
still
night.
alive and well. No. He had a rough go last night.
Hey.
But he's alive and well, bro.
yeah.
You think Lou Walton, the best coach for him?
I don't know. I mean, I think
Probably too early to say.
yeah,
Too
I
early.
think it's gonna be better for him in Sacramento than it was in LA. That they,
Yeah.
you know, everybody ain't for that smoke, dog. Like everybody, you know, that dealing with LeBron, and I mean, I feel like Frank Vogel might be in trouble already.
I
Like,
said the same thing.
They were
might
looking
be
over his
Jason
shoulder
Kidd.
like
It might be Jason Kidd in a minute.
Wow.
When you
That's
have
a tough
I'd
job.
love to see that though.
hey, boy, we gonna.
But still don't skip over my man D Rose, man.
Hey, D Rose going back to
He's
the All-Star.
ball- he's
game.
balling.
He going back.
They was
I think he said like 18, 27, 31.
Yeah.
Haven't played more than like 26 minutes.
I think D Rose in a better place in life right now. I think it's
Yeah.
translating to the basketball
Yeah.
court right now.
They was shouting out MVP chance.
They wouldn't know that to trade him.
Relax,
Oh yeah.
relax.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying what they did.
He said relax.
Yeah.
I mean, look, what I would love it, but I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know D Rose. I hope he stays healthy. I hope he continues to stay in this place and ball out and have a good year. Make the All-Star team. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be nice.
So that I'm still gonna get on you. Now, neither one of us wanted Luka, but I could admit I told you Luka was gonna be good. I just said, was he gonna ever potentially down the road 10 years from now be as good as Trey? He still may be, but I think both teams won.
Yep.
The only other thing was the Hawks just got an extra pick out of it.
I think the Hawks won though. I mean, I think because in the long run, like the Hawks have always needed a point guard,
Yeah.
and like they need a point guard, and they finally made the
Got
right
the point
pick.
guard.
And
They
then
got
they're actually like drafting the right people to place around him to spread the floor and stuff. They're on the right track. Like,
They're a fun group to watch, man.
yeah,
I'll tell you
I
that.
can't
They're
wait
fun
to go
watch.
to a Hawks game this year. Like, I didn't go all last year. I haven't been to
I
a Hawks
didn't
game in
either.
a
I
long
went last
time.
night.
I'm already looking at tickets like
Last night was electric.
Yeah.
You know, John Collins, he blocks shots. He's active.
He's gonna have fun.
The few minutes
The
I
one I
saw,
was
Bembry
wrong
was
about-
doing well too.
Was the White Mamba,
Hey, white mama.
Kevin Hurt.
Oh, you know why he's hooping though.
Oh, here we go. Here goes.
Cause he's a
DMV.
turd.
White mama can hoop.
Yeah, he can go.
White Mamba can hoop. And Jabari Parker giving them good minutes.
Great. Yeah. I wonder
Celtics-
if Jabbar is going to make that drive to Macon. Just look at the Mercer campus.
Hey, I ain't mess with you. Man. No, mess with you.
That's the
man.
first thing I thought about though when I saw Jabbar was on with the Hawks.
I want to see free Jaylen Brown while we here.
free.
He got his bread, but like they gonna have to figure this Gordon Hayward, Tatum, Brown thing. Like y'all gonna have to
Dude,
figure that out, man.
That's not Jaylen Brown
too
dancing
many.
on Twitter though, is it? That's not.
Yeah, that's
I
him.
heard it wasn't. I heard
I
No,
heard
that's
it.
him dancing.
That looks just like him.
Hey,
I heard that
hey,
was-
That ain't JB.
Hey,
That ain't JB.
And then
JB out
somebody
there.
puts out.
That ain't
somebody,
JB.
somebody puts
That
out.
ain't JB, man.
Somebody puts out.
That ain't JB.
8.0.
And they had him dancing, right?
Yeah.
Twitter is
I
Twitter
feel
is
like
a
It's
special
undefeated,
place.
yeah.
Yeah,
Twitter's
it's a special
undefeated.
place.
Undefeated.
I feel like JB deserved his bread. I
Most
think
def.
just in Boston right now, that combination of players and Gordon Hayward is starting to look like Gordon Hayward. Like
Maybe
he's
he
starting to look
needed
better.
that year to get.
Yeah,
Get it going, yeah.
I feel like that it is tough for any team to have three wings like that are that good at the same time and kind of do some of the same things. Like you got to figure it out. I'm not saying that anybody should be traded based on their play, but I feel like at some point you're holding one of them or two of them back at this point because they can't be on the floor enough in the role that they deserve to be in or their talent deserves that they be in. To me,
Gotcha. Yep.
it's gonna be tough. But y'all, I don't hate Danny Ainge. I like him.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, Middle Georgia Prep and TSF matched up. We had somebody in the building, so I'll shut up. So I'll shut up and
Hold up. Are we really gonna break the game down, or we just gonna be
hey,
on the
let's talk
surface?
about it. Let's
Are we gonna be on the
no.
surface about it?
Oh no, dog, we here. We here.
Gotta speak, huh? Gotta
We
speak.
here.
You was
We
at the
gotta
game,
speak
huh?
on it now. We here.
Hey, I was there. A lot of people in the gym, college coaches in the gym.
Where was the game?
Different
Where was the game at?
It's where TSF plays.
Oh, okay.
NYO.
Chastain. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
over at Chastain Park. So a lot of college coaches in the gym. A lot of people in the gym on a Friday afternoon. Got to see Middle Georgia Prep. They had a couple kids that were out due to injury. And they took it to TSF at the beginning of the game. And then right around middle of the third quarter, defense matters. And the defense picked up full court for TSF and gave Middle Georgia some problems. And they start turning it over. And next thing you know, TSF walks away with a win. And you walk out that building and you go, that Jalen Galloway kid can go.
I saw his
Can go.
highlights. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Bucket.
Yeah.
Like
Smooth.
sweet, smooth
Yeah.
stroke.
Plays the right way.
Has the right length, like play. Yeah, doesn't try to overdo anything.
Overdo it, yeah.
You know, and I it's funny because the defensive catalyst started when guys like Kenny Burns and Rico Hallman win the game. Like Rico just ripped the dude
Yeah.
right off. Like he
Well,
boom.
you know, Rico been known for his defense the past few years when he was at Grayson. That's what his known. You know, his dad even put a tweet out. You know, what did he put out on Bryce? Like crossover stopper, something like that.
Yeah.
It was on a crossover. He
yeah.
just ripped the
Yeah.
dude.
So Rico has been known to be
Ball-
one of the
it
best
was
defenders.
something.
Yeah. Ball stopper, something like that. Yeah.
So that changed the game. And I can't think of the other kid. The other kid, they put it on Twitter, but that dude he's a beast defensively for TSF, man.
Talking about Markeith?
Yes.
Yeah.
Marquis.
He's a
Brown.
Markeith
Brownie.
Browning.
Brownie, yeah.
he's a
He's
beast
tough.
defensively,
He's a
man.
like a freak of nature, like
Yeah,
athletically.
he is.
Yeah.
He is. And, you know, they're doing all this without Christian Wright, who's injured. So I don't think he'll be back till late December, January. So it'll be an interesting dynamic when he comes back.
What I understand about the game was MGP was up early,
Yeah.
pretty well ahead early, and then TSF turned it into that other gear and pulled away late. Does this say to you guys that, giving TSF they flowers, that they are the best prep team here in the state?
They won.
Like,
Yeah, they won.
They won.
Have they beat Court 4? They beat Court 4 yet?
But see,
That
this
they
was an
played?
actual game
Game.
that counted.
True.
Like,
True.
I mean, I think as you keep going along in the season, you'll see more and more.
Yeah.
I think
But
we
you
were
gotta
between
give,
those two,
but
though.
you gotta
weren't we?
give
Like
them
most
their-
people kind of
yeah, but you got to give them their prop. TSF has done some stuff the past few years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
You know,
But shouldn't they? I mean, no. But I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying like they have everything that you need to have
To be successful.
To be
I get
successful,
what you're
yeah.
saying. I get what you're saying.
Like they have everything. they have, you know what I
But
mean?
having everything doesn't always mean you're gonna be successful. So they're putting
That's
that
true.
action in the
Yeah.
They putting the
action,
work.
the work
They
in.
putting the
yeah.
work in. Yeah.
The one thing I feel like I've seen just across the board, right, giving TSF their credit, but just across the board when dealing with these prep schools, I feel like we've seen kids get better. Like we went
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
and watched kids
Yes.
like bodies mature.
Bodies
like,
mature,
oh,
yeah.
wow, like this kid's got better. You mentioned Core 4 last week.
Yeah.
With you know how they've changed the kids over there with Kendrick Green losing the weight that he has and being look like he's in great shape and moving well and all that stuff.
And
So,
I think that's a credit to Rob Johnson, the head coach over there. He does a great job with. He doesn't take anything off those kids. He pushes them to be better. You know, even just take a kid like Matt Davis. Like he's different than he was a year ago this time. You know, so I think you got to give TSF a lot of credit for what they're doing and what they have done, and look, the way it's going is going to continue to do. They're one of them in Middle Georgia, one of the few that keep
Keep
they
going.
Keep going.
Keep
They
producing.
going.
for sure,
year to year.
for sure. And it's something
Yeah.
we gotta make sure that we give them their respect. Like
Yeah.
like the prep circuit, or I don't know what we call it, but the prep schools have been popping up here in the state
Yeah.
recently. We've seen a lot of talent in that area recently, and I think it's gonna be a battle for who comes out being dominant. And
yeah.
but right now, after that win, I think you gotta slide TSF ahead right now.
Now I think I saw something that said Core 4 lost to Oak Hill by 8.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they
And
did play.
Jimmy
They,
went off.
they did play. I don't know who won, but they did play.
I
I haven't found out who won.
can't confirm or
Yeah.
deny, but
It's another
Yeah.
matchup that we want to see.
MGP played Core 4 Tuesday.
this coming Tuesday?
Yes.
I had news of this, and I don't know. I don't know how true it is but that TSF at one time was ducking that Core 4 matchup. I'm putting it out there as it was told to me. I don't
Duck
know why
season.
they would
Yeah.
duck it because they're talented.
Yeah.
But that's what was told to me, so I'm just tossing it out there as, hey man, unfounded. I don't know.
I got a question for Huff. I already asked you this, Dre. You just seen Galloway.
Okay.
Can we put him up there with the Chance Moores, the Matthew Clevelands, the Koiski Reeves? Because
That dude
he
is
just dropped
smooth.
28 on basically kids way older than him. Some of them prep school
Physical
kids,
kids that can
19,
defend,
20,
too.
yeah. And
Yeah.
you say he shot the ball efficient, he played the right way. Is he up there top with those kids in the 2021 class?
I think you got to talk about him.
You got to talk
I
about
think you
him.
got to
Yeah.
talk about him. I think anytime you're talking about a kid in their 11th grade season, this is that year.
Yeah.
This is that year. It's a
Separate.
separate yourself
Yeah.
and what you're going to do. Have you improved from a sophomore season? Have you been in the weight room? Have you been doing the things to take your game to the next level? So I think you got to talk about them when you talk about those kids. Like, Georgia's loaded, man. 2021 is loaded.
Yeah, because I never even heard of him until like this week.
Loaded.
I saw him when he was at Sprayberry.
Sprayberry,
Oh, he
yeah.
came from
I mean,
Sprayberry?
Yeah, I think we watched them when
think
they
I saw
played
him play
South
South
Carolina. When we
Carolina,
played
yeah.
South Carolina, we all was there. Because we all mentioned that we liked the kid. But,
Okay.
we didn't know anything
You
about
gotta think
him.
about last year. That Sprayberry team was pretty doggone
good.
good.
Yeah, Sprayberry was
pretty
good.
good.
How tall is he? Like 6'5"?
6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, he can stroke it. Yeah.
And his brother plays at North Carolina's Greensboro.
I kept hearing
Man.
Clay Thompson comparisons to this kid.
Yeah, them the ones I got too.
I can't wait to go watch him play.
Doesn't take a lot of
I
dribbles.
wanna
That's not a
see
bad one.
TSF and Core 4 matchup now. I think that could just solidify for TSF. Right now, I have them ahead, but I want to see that matchup. I feel like that needs to happen. I don't, like I said, I was told that they ducked it, but I don't know that to be true for sure.
Gotcha.
Or why they would.
Yeah.
But
I'm
hey,
pretty
let's
sure
see.
they'll see each other down the line if
For
they're
sure,
not already
for
scheduled.
sure. We're gonna be following it. There's a big prep tournament that
Yeah.
happens every year, like
Every year,
Thanksgiving
yeah,
time.
around that
Like,
time,
I would
yeah.
love to see it then. Like let's see these guys play. So, this week you mentioned it earlier, Huff, and I just want to get to this because I think it's important for a lot of the parents that may be watching, kids that may be listening to the show. Not a fun time of year to have to cut anybody or tell anybody, hey, look, there's no place for you here in this program. But we talk about that happening. It is a part of our game, right? It is necessary. We should not have teams where everybody makes it. That's just not how
Not
the
an
world
equal,
works.
not an equal
right?
opportunity sport.
But I wanted to toss something out to you and Bryce of advice for kids, number one, who got cut, or number two, that were placed on a freshman team when they thought they should have made JV or varsity, or JV when they feel like they should have been a varsity player. What do we say to the kids who got cut, or what advice do we give to kids who got cut? But then also, advice do we have for players who feel like they need to work their way up the depth chart, or feel like they got a bad deal in how they got placed?
Getting cut is something no coach wants to have to sit in that room or whatever process they have of letting the kid know they didn't make it. It's really tough. But I use a kid that I coached the past 3 years named Hector Rosario, who's now playing NAIA basketball, who got cut as a 9th grader. Right. And could have taken it like, well, I'm not going to play the game anymore. The kid went and got better. Got better to the point where as a 10th grader, he makes the JV team. He's starting on the JV team. And then he's now playing college basketball.
So 1 year he went from getting cut to
Starting
on
JV to 11th grade year,
That's what's up.
playing a pivotal role on our Sweet 16 team, to a starting point guard position on his senior year.
And that's a good point, because I feel like a lot of people, parents, kids, feel like they need to go right into a high school and play varsity right away.
Yeah.
And I actually think it's, for me, because I experienced it, I almost feel like it should be the opposite. Now, unless you really are that good,
Unless
you
you
should
that
be
guy,
on varsity.
yeah.
Okay. But for me, it's like, why not play JV or 9th
Go
grade
through the
and
process.
go through the process, get bigger, get stronger, faster, learn the game, so that when you are a sophomore or junior or senior, you're ready to go.
I mean, we talk, and we talk
Because
about
that's when you need, that's that time period that's the most important. Your 9th and 10th, I mean, 9th grade is really, you know,
how many 9th graders can make an impact?
yeah, not many.
Like, is it better for you as a parent to have your kid sit at the end of a varsity bench and not get in?
Yeah.
Which means, other than practice, he's not developing.
He's not developing.
Or to get meaningful minutes at the 9th grade or JV level? That's a question a parent and a kid has to ask themselves.
Right.
Because as a coach, that's what I'm looking at. Like, I may dress him out, but he's going to get the majority of his time on JV or 9th grade, unless he can significantly impact us and help us at the varsity level.
I, you know, if I could go back and do it all over again, I'd rather be humbled earlier on
Yes.
than and keep working and say, I gotta keep grinding, I gotta keep working on my game. Then come in as an 8th grader, oh yeah, I'm that deal, I'm nice, and then you stop working, and then you peak, and then you're done. So I'd rather like be humbled early and say, yo, I got to get back in the game, in the gym, and work on my game. So by the time I'm a junior, there's nothing you can say to me. I'm not even on that cut, that borderline, that fence. So I'm not even in a conversation.
So it's a twofold thing.
Yeah.
Getting cut shouldn't be the end if you're willing to put the work in. But we as parents and players, you got to understand there's a dynamic that goes on, and you got to know the dynamic of that team. Like, it's just like looking at a college roster and saying, should they be recruiting me at that college roster? Well, why haven't they offered me? Well, because they got doggone 3 wings who not graduating in 2 years. They don't need you.
I want to make sure I touch on this because I've taken heat from telling parents that as an AAU coach of, hey, man, have you been to those high school games? Right?
Have you seen that roster that
Yeah.
in the next year they only graduate 2 kids and they're both big, so
Where does
Where you gonna fit
Where you
in?
gonna
where do
fit
your
in?
fit? Do you understand their history, right? If you've been living in that area, have you kind of followed them to know, do they frequently bring in transfers? Is that something that, you know what I mean? Like you just, man, I feel like we can't approach this topic without really talking about it. Like
Yeah.
you gotta know.
does that
if you
program
live
really
in a
develop?
program-
Does that program really develop kids all the way? I mean,
How
a
many
lot of
kids
stuff-
in that program have you seen go from freshman to JV to varsity
varsity.
in that program?
Mm-hmm.
There are some programs where that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. I mean,
Transfers.
even
In
if
some
the
program, they get
kid is,
transfers
They get
every
transfers.
year.
even if the kid
yeah.
has a skill set that can translate early on to varsity, his game speed probably isn't where it's going to
His
be.
strength,
His
his
strength
strength,
is
yeah,
not
his
gonna
body,
be
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So it's like you all have, let's say, if you have 2 weeks of practice, that's not that long to get a kid ready who's going to go play these 7A, 6A schools. Like, that's tough. Now, some kids are thrown in the fire and it works out for them, but that's a select few.
And
that
we've
can
had
handle it.
examples of this. Like, we've talked about Zacho millions of times on here.
Yep.
But at the beginning of the season last year,
He was
the Zacho we saw at the end of the season?
But you know, he may have been, he may not been. We don't really know. But the good thing that they did was they brought him in at a slow process. And so as he got stronger, we knew he could shoot already. We knew he could play. But they like, okay, here's the game speed. Here's what we're expecting of you defensively. So by late December or January, like, it was nothing you can say. So it takes time for a kid to like understand, okay, this is the varsity's pace of the game.
Got to shout out to his dad too. At that point, right? Like, a lot of parents panic. You know what I mean? Seeing their kid who they felt like was a varsity player, or everybody felt like was a varsity player, like play a freshman game or play in a JV game. Now Zacho took care of business too, because when he played in them games, he went off.
Yeah, you got to kill in those games.
Right? He went and
You got to
killed
make
it.
the
So
most of your shots.
Yeah.
That's not
Can't blame coaches for telling you to go prove it, right? You got to go out there and prove it. He went out there and went off. But Dad didn't panic, stayed the course, and then they got rewarded as he started to play well. They got rewarded.
And I think that's what parents have to understand. As a high school coach, I want to win ball games. If your son can help me win ball games, he will eventually be on the floor.
Yeah.
Maybe he couldn't help me in November or December, but through the process, he can help me in January and, more importantly, February as we move along. So that's the big key. You've got to trust that. In the words of Bryce's boss, trust the process.
Yeah. And then, too, kids flunk off, y'all, so.
Got to make sure you handle it.
TTP. Yeah. Let me ask y'all this real quick. So I had this conversation with one of my group chats. When do you tell a kid maybe basketball is not your sport? Because they were like some trainers are not telling the kids, you know, you not do this sport, but I'm still taking your money.
They taking that money, boy.
I personally feel like that there's some, just like we tell kids a lot of times when it comes to colleges, you can find somewhere to go play, right? If you keep your grades high enough, you can find somewhere to go play. Sometimes I think at the high school level, maybe GHSA isn't your group, right? Maybe you belong at a GISA school to go play, or there are other classifications. I can't remember what classification. Like
GICCA.
GICCA.
Yeah.
Maybe you belong at a different spot, right, where there's room for you to play. If you're a high academic kid, then you have more options even in high school. Maybe 7A just is not for you, and
it's not for a lot of
nothing wrong
kids.
with that. So maybe it's somewhere else.
But I mean, there's some
right?
kids that just can't play.
I would
Like,
agree.
it's just not for you, and it's okay.
Well,
It's
we're
not-
talking about. I guess
I'm
I was
asking,
talking
but
about more so
do
the
you
kid
tell
that
the kid?
trains all the time and that works. I kind of feel like they're
do
gonna
you
be
tell that
look.
kid?
I can train.
Go work at
I can
Kroger's.
hire you to teach me how to play the piano all day long, but I just can't do it.
I guess the question for
I'm
me,
just naturally, I just don't have it in me.
I guess the question
And
for
so-
me is the kid on a team? Or has he been cut?
Well, okay. Well, I can say it like this. Maybe made a ninth grade team. Of course, he on the A&U team.
Right.
We can't talk
Then
about
we
AAU.
have to start having realistic conversations with the kid. Like,
Okay.
listen, this is where you are right now. Other ninth graders are light years ahead of you. So either you're going to have to play catch up, which means you're going to have to spend a lot of time in the gym,
Yep.
It's
and the percentage of that you catching up is not good. So I want to be extremely honest with you about where you can go. So maybe you got to figure this thing out and understand you won't be a star.
If they're like decent, then they'll probably get a chance to play on the ninth grade team. And then at that point, like,
What if they don't make the
Then-
ninth grade team? I had someone to tweet me and say, all right.
then if they
Everybody
don't
know-
make the ninth grade team, then they
I
need
think
to.
you got to still work.
Then
if
they
you don't make the
probably
ninth grade
need.
team.
Go work. Try to be.
Yeah, they
try
probably
to
need
be
to
a
go play in
manager.
another
Yeah.
league.
Do y'all let kids be managers?
I've had people
Yeah.
that I've cut this to say, if I really thought a kid was close enough that I could help him, I've offered a practice player manager spot. Now, it's up to the parent and the player because I tell them up front, 95% of the time, unless somebody flunks or gets hurt, you're not putting on a jersey on game day. But I can help get you better during the season,
Work.
in addition to whatever else you want to do,
Get better during
and
practice.
you'll know what's going on in our program to hopefully help prepare you to make this team next year.
Got to be. I think if you're in that situation, to me, you just have to look for every possible avenue, every possible.
I mean, there's so many different. Yeah,
opportunities
there's
to
so
try
many
to get
different
on.
places you can play. If I'm not on the ninth grade level, okay, let me go to my rec center and sign up and play rec basketball.
Play rec.
And then let me keep learning the game, and maybe by 10th grade, or
Especially
I
as a
might.
ninth grader.
Now,
Yeah.
okay. Now, do the ninth grade transfer or do you stay?
Nah, you should stay right
And
where
too
he
many
is.
times we look
That's two
We look
separate
for a way out,
things.
yeah.
That's two
Two
separate
separate
things.
things, okay.
Again, I'm gonna say this: if you got cut your ninth grade year and you're at a school that normally brings in 5 or 6 transfers to varsity,
Oh, yeah, you got to leave.
over the course of, man, look, it's no different than if you went to school, if your passion was like videography, video editing, and stuff like that. There are some schools that have programs like that in the school.
Yeah.
And academically, if you wanted your kid to experience that, then you would move into a district so that the kid could experience that from an academic standpoint.
Correct.
Why not basketball? Right? Like, from a parent standpoint, you know, I gotta move. No, you don't have to. You ain't gotta do that.
You got to do jack.
But you gotta understand where your kid
Yeah.
is and where, like, that we're supposed to fight through a certain amount of adversity. And if
Yeah.
you did not do your homework before you enroll, then you may want to
Yeah.
do your homework now
I-
at this time and say, you know,
I agree with.
we're
with
gonna
every-
train. We're gonna spend the
yeah.
time training. I never say that you shouldn't do that. That should be a given. Like,
Yeah.
we shouldn't even be having this conversation if you're not working out 3, 4 days, 5 days a week, getting shots up. Right? This is not a conversation for you. You need to go to work.
I mean, I agree with everything you're saying, but at the same time, I still feel like kids transfer too much. Like you're
would agree with
leaving
that, B. I
too
agree
much,
with that,
and
But we talking about kids that's already playing. Them's the ones that like we
We're talking about the ones that are not
Yeah,
playing.
we talking about the
They-
guys.
they
the
that
make
ones
the
that are
team.
the ones
The
that are
dudes that's playing
the ones
be
that are
transferring,
not
bouncing
playing,
around.
the ones that are not playing or are borderline getting cut. Why does it affect you anyway? You weren't playing. You need to get better.
That's number one. I would agree.
So your first priority should be, I got to get better.
True.
Now,
You-
then
you-
if I've gotten better into the point where, okay, I'm still not getting a fair opportunity, I'm not playing, okay, then let's have a conversation about it. But I think oftentimes too many people are just quick to jump the gun and pull the trigger and leave.
I agree.
And then what happens is the kid doesn't have consistency or comfortable in a system with a coach or coaching staff, and they can't perform. Like even last year, we had a kid that came in and he had probably his best year, but it's his last year. So sometimes you can't.
And it
Sometimes
doesn't-
it's
and-
okay to go to your neighborhood school and work your way up.
And just because you transfer doesn't guarantee
It doesn't guarantee
that you're going to
anything.
make the team that you go to.
Exactly.
That's true.
And if you transfer after they've already made cuts, who's to say that coach is even going to give you an opportunity?
Tune in, yeah.
Because people are looking at you like,
That's
so
true.
why have you
Why'd
been
you
in
go
this?
over- yeah, why'd you go
Exactly.
over
How many times people are going to look at all that stuff?
And I think that's why Mondre said you got to do your research
Yeah.
on where you going.
homework.
You got to.
You
You
gotta
just
look
can't
at that
say
roster. Like, you gotta know that.
I'm playing McKeitron.
I mean, if I have a ninth grader that is capable of playing varsity or at some point can get to varsity or in that season, then I might find a school that's a smaller school, maybe a 6A or something like that. That he can
3A.
or something whatever that he can go
But even
in
every
have a
3A
chance.
school-
3A, no,
they
3A
can.
schools.
I mean,
You're right, but
I just
I'm
think
gonna find a spot that he
I
can.
just think that a lot of times, just like people ignore NAI schools or, you know,
The Christian league
Christian
schools,
league
schools,
schools
yeah.
or prep opportunities or things like that because they didn't go D1.
Yeah.
Don't overlook some of these other institutions where you could possibly go and play. And if you I'm just talking about guys that's trying to go.
It's hard to
gonna get to
have
that
that
point, yeah.
pipeline and that chemistry that they know your system and so on and so forth. So
the parents should know the level of their kids. I think
Nah,
a lot of parents.
No,
I
they
don't
don't.
agree with that.
They got to
But
go to
they
games.
don't.
You got
They're
to.
ga- no, I'm saying they should know their game. They should know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
But parents
I-
can go to games all the time and still.
But see, like we
I
know
know.
what we say, parents always had a daddy goggles on. Like they don't see their son making
I'ma
those
tell you,
mistakes.
honestly, I swear to goodness, my experience in coaching at lower levels than you guys, but my experience in coaching AAU, parents only go to games for their kids.
Oh yeah, don't of course.
Like they don't watch. Like the most educated parents at the AAU level, at my level, and I'm talking about ninth grade and below.
Yeah.
The most educated parents that I see most of the time are parents that have just went to other games on their level.
Right.
Most of those parents, and I'm not taking a shot at parents or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's been my experience with most of the guys that I run into. They're not at hoops giving because their kid ain't playing. And I think that is a drastic mistake. Like, you have to be going to these events. You got to go to these schools and watch, or else
That's
how
a
do you
good
know
point.
that your kid should be
And,
playing at that
and
level? or at
I
this
went
school?
to
Like, you gotta go.
in like April. I went to New York for Geico Nationals.
Yeah.
That level of basketball is even different than 7A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't know that
Until you
Until
see
until
it.
you see it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, in 7A it's the real deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like IMG,
Mount Verde.
Mount Verde, and
the prep.
all those schools
All
up.
kids,
It's
yeah.
It's different. You don't know until you sit on the floor and watch it.
You got to go see it. You got to go watch it repeatedly. And then I feel like parents will find a better groove about where their kids should go. Working your way up the depth chart. If you're on JV, you feel like you should be on varsity, guys. What are some things that a kid could do to prove, hey, coach, like you said, I can help you win?
Buy your coach lunch.
Bring them coffee.
Bring on Popeye chicken
You
sandwich.
just gotta. It's about your practice habits. It's
Yeah.
about what are you doing in practice, because that's probably the time you're going to get opportunities to go against the varsity guys, where you can prove how you can make an impact. And a lot of times the impact isn't scoring.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Most of the time, a varsity team has enough scorers on their team.
Yeah.
They're trying to find who can rebound, who can play defense, who can do the little things that's going to help us win.
Yeah.
So that's probably the aspect that a kid or a parent needs to look at to move up the depth chart.
From my perspective, from like an underclassman, like when I walk in the gym, if I'm looking at 9th or 10th grader that might be able to make varsity, I'm looking at like two basic things. One, how hard is he playing?
Yep.
Yep.
If you're not playing hard enough, like don't even
Don't even think about
talk
it.
to me.
Yeah.
The second thing is, are you making the right decisions?
Don't even talk to me.
Seriously, if you're not playing hard enough and you're not running the floor, I'm just saying, that's easy to play hard. That's the easiest thing.
Don't even talk
You say that, but kids
It's
don't,
not-
know how, kids don't know how to
I'm
compete.
saying it doesn't take talent to play hard, like to run, to try hard.
Hey, that's real.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that. That's real.
That's just the
That's
first thing.
100% real.
So then, okay, he plays hard, so he can probably maybe play at that level. The second thing is he making the right decisions? So is he kicking the ball out? Is he, you know what I mean? He doesn't even have to have, he can have 8 points.
I feel like he don't have to score at
He
all.
doesn't have to
Like,
score at
as a
all.
freshman, yeah.
Right. So, but is he making the right passes? Is he talking on defense? Those are the 2 or 3 things.
Down for
Like,
loose balls.
and if you don't do those 2 things when I walk in the gym and you're trying to play at that level,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have anything to say to you.
Bryce, didn't we preach this at the freshman you run?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I
Definitely.
remember Bryce I was telling a kid that played for you in the summer. I just walked by the kid. He was having a tough time. It was last year AAU season.
So not
And
like
not this past season.
Right.
One before. Y'all first year, July. And
Yeah.
I'm telling the kid, he's having a rough time. I told the kid, I said, look, just go get every rebound.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you're in the game, just go get every rebound, and you're going to feel better.
right.
Like, the ball has energy.
You gotta
go
work.
get every
Yeah.
rebound, touch the ball, that bump in, that I was like, that's gonna get that being physical, that's gonna get you in the game and get you feeling better.
and
Go get every
A
rebound.
lot of times we find kids that are like they're playing too cool, and you're smooth or whatever the case may be, but sometimes it's not going to allow you to get into a rhythm if you're jogging. Good things won't happen to you if you're not grinding. You know what I mean? It's just
Playing
it
full
just doesn't
speed.
work
It's
out.
called
Like,
game speed.
Exactly.
Not your speed.
Exactly.
Game speed.
So like that's what I look at. Now if you're at number 10 on the depth chart, whatever you want to call it, but you can do those 2 things and then you're smart. For me, you might move up to 7. And then by January, you might be 6 man. You might be on the floor starting off. So, because I think the rest of it comes down to what your coach is preaching and your system and stuff like that. But I mean, if you're jogging, then you don't even gotta look my way.
Man said, don't talk to me if you're not playing
And the
hard.
crazy thing
Hey,
is,
that's the illest bars you done ever had
the
on the
crazy
show.
thing, but I'm
Don't talk to me.
serious.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
like,
I'm with you.
there's nothing that we can have a conversation about if
I'm with you.
I can step off the floor watching you and beat you down the sideline.
Hey, nothing else needs to be said. My man said, if you ain't playing hard, don't even talk to me. So next, fellas, there were some preseason power rankings that got released. I don't know if y'all have it pulled up. Man, somebody send it to me. Let's or if y'all have it pulled up, we're gonna call out the names of the. I only have a couple of issues, and I'll let y'all talk about it. And
I'll probably remain quiet. So
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my
my
mouth
7A.
yeah, you sent me the list, so let's talk about 7A real quick. We're gonna power through this in
Starting at 7A.
like 5 minutes because we got some place to be.
I'm trying to hear CY.
We gotta
Right.
and like just let it out
I'm
the bag.
trying to hear the
That's gonna be a
goat.
surprise.
I just
Locke.
want to sit here and hear the goat, man.
Number 4 Norcross, number 3 Norcross, number 4 Pebblebrook, number
Hey.
5 Berkmar. So I'll
me
say it
tell-
again: Grayson, McEachern, Norcross, Pebblebrook,
Hey.
and Berkmar is your top 5 in 7A.
Grayson, you're too high. Pebblebrook, you're too low. McEachern, you should be higher.
I think, Mondre, you said a defending state champion should always start the preseason off as number 1.
Hey, look, bro.
They haven't been beat yet, right?
Even if they
Hey,
lost
they lose
players,
a game last year.
even if they lost players, they should be number 1. Oh,
I'm
they
gonna
good.
say this.
They
I'm gonna say
deserve
this.
respect.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna say this. Hey, if you want to beat a man,
Got to beat them, man.
Beat
you
man.
gotta beat the man. Woo! Shout out to Ric Flair. Number 1, that's number 1. Number 2, it's one thing when they lost players, they did, but you still brought back the guy. We've always been saying that Sharif is the guy. So if you bring back the guy on that team, like I can't put him below nobody until you you got to match up and beat dude. Like to me,
Nah, that
you know
makes
what I
sense.
mean?
Nah,
Like
that
I
makes-
just
makes a
to
lot
me
of
that's
sense.
a little disrespectful. Dog. Like I get it, I understand, pretty whatever, but like I'm not gonna give it to you until you beat him. You gotta go take his powers.
6A.
6A.
I disagree.
I agree with you on Pebblebrook being too.
Pebblebrook's too low.
I
on
agree.
6A.
I agree.
On 6A though.
6A.
Douglas County at 8.
Hold on. Let him get the.
Let them say the 5. We talking about the top 5.
Hey,
He
bro.
must be thinking Douglas
Bro,
County.
hey,
Come on,
it feel like me and Bryce linked up before the show, but we didn't link up before the show. I promise.
8.
It's disrespectful. Tri-Cities at 1, Tucker at 2, South Cobb 3, Chattahoochee 4, Sequoia at 5.
Sequoia's gonna be pretty good.
They are.
Yes, they will.
Hey,
We saw them in team camp, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jackson Greco, who committed
Mercer.
to Mercer.
Yeah.
Yep.
hey, 6A might be a little tougher
6A
than
is gonna be a
7A.
gauntlet.
Yeah, it's going
6A might be a little tougher than 7A.
I mean, I'm looking at those 10 teams.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Man.
fun to watch.
It's tough.
Chattahoochee is gonna be.
Who's going to average maybe
Hey, Douglas-
85 points
Yeah,
a
they're
game.
gonna be.
It's going to be
really
fun to
good.
watch. This
Douglas
year.
County, you slept on, but not on this show.
I think they said on Twitter they want all that smoke too.
They did.
Hey, man.
You slept on Douglas County, but not on this show.
It's hard to play in Douglas County. Like if you go in that,
You're
gym,
right. You're right. It is.
Like,
It's like they're right on top
You're
of you.
not winning in Douglas County. Like you got to be on
But
your
I think-
A game.
But you realize we're not talking about Alexander. It's tough to win there.
Alexander lost a lot.
Yeah, but they still got some players. I'm
They
surprised.
lost.
And we
a lot,
keep
dude.
disrespecting Rory Welch.
He's in a good spot.
We keep disrespecting Rory Welch.
Well, we didn't make the list.
right, you're right.
So,
You're right. We didn't make the list.
I'm not disrespecting. I mean,
I'd imagine that it's hard to pick 5.
Yeah, you're right.
Hard
Especially
to,
in 6A.
to rank these teams in 6A. Yeah, but Douglas County at 8. Sheesh. 5A, Dutchtown, Eagles Landing, Cale, Carrollton, Statesboro, in that order. Lithonia and Southwest DeKalb outside of the top 5.
I think Southwest DeKalb should have been higher, but Statesboro got some kids.
I actually think Lithia Springs should have been higher.
yeah, Lithia Spring. Yeah, I kind of.
They got 2 dudes at the guards position. They can give you 30
Give you
each.
Yeah.
4A, hey, Sandy Creek, nobody loves you like me. Nobody. 4A is Woodward Academy, Denmark, Sandy Creek at 3, Darty at 5, Darty at 4, Eastside at 5.
Denmark can possibly win that. They
I was the toughest part is gonna be you gotta face the unicorn Walker
Yeah,
Kessler.
that's size.
Yeah, that size, yeah.
But Denmark is tough.
But if anybody can do it, I think
Denmark is
Man,
tough.
what, Denmark the 2 year, this
Hey,
their second year?
Hey, Sandy
new
Creek.
program.
One of them,
Hey,
yeah.
when I come to a game in Sandy Creek, it should be lemon pepper wings everywhere. Don't nobody love y'all like me, dog. Nobody. Sorry, Sandy Creek. If I ain't got no, man. Sandy Creek winning that.
East Side got some. They got
Man,
some
they
young
got
kids.
some players, man.
Miles Rice, Nicole Grant,
Chauncey Wiggins.
Like,
Come on, Sandy Creek. Come on now. Been playing with y'all for 2 years. Come on now.
Playing with them too long. Not 2 years, too long.
3A, Pace at 1, Westside Macon at 2, Central Macon at 3, Dawson County, Franklin County, 4 and 5.
I honestly think Monroe should be higher, even though they lost the 6-9 Quadre Rots. But I think they'll get Hart County, in my personal opinion. But I think they should be in the top 5 because ain't nobody seeing, my personal opinion, Pogo.
Facts.
That's just one player though.
Oh, they got Dominique Henderson. He was the
he's
freshman of the
solid.
year.
Yeah, he's
Nah,
solid.
he ain't solid.
He's good.
He's good.
He's solid.
The team that
My boy said he ain't solid.
the team in this, and then they're not in the top 5. That
Hey,
just remember that I said that Jefferson.
Jefferson. Oh,
Jeff Davis. Yep.
No, not Jeff Davis.
come on, Jeff
Jefferson.
Davis.
Jefferson.
Jefferson.
Okay.
Just be wary. They always keep talent. Always.
But before we go on, I would just love to see Pace Academy versus Westside making in the playoffs.
Ooh.
Now we could separate Kowalski and Matthew Cleveland. I think Javion Mosley still getting slept on.
Yep.
I think he got something to prove.
Madison Durr.
You got Madison.
Cole
Cole's back
Miller.
off injury.
Yeah. Be a good matchup.
That-
I
That'll
like
be-
Pace. I like Pace though. I think
Gonna play all
they'll take care of it.
all Coach White's teams just play so hard, man. Like this.
And he has. I mean, Madison.
man.
Madison probably one of the
They got
hardest
my
kids
dude
to
low.
play. I've never seen anybody play harder than him. So
Yeah.
he plays hard every day, every game.
2A is Thorough, South Atlanta, Glen Hill, Swainsboro, and Vidalia.
There's no way in hell. Sorry. You got Woodville at number 10. They just lost one game.
Crazy. That's crazy.
And they
to me.
bring Bernard back.
That's
they lost
crazy.
one
to me.
game.
Yeah. And they couldn't wait to disrespect Lenny, dog.
Yeah.
Like people couldn't wait to get at Lenny, dog. I don't even understand why that is. That's another coach that wants all the smoke. All of it. Every matchup. I couldn't wait to take shots at him. I don't understand it.
The fact that Thurl and South Atlanta are in the same region and are 1 and 2.
Then South Atlanta they lost Julius
They lost a
Lyman.
big boy.
Let me clear my throat before we get to the disrespect now, because it's coming
I'm
now.
gonna sit back.
Yeah. All right, we're going to
We're gonna-
private. Or
yeah,
1A
let's go
public?
to sing.
Let's do private for last. Let's just go to public. 1A. Let's do what they say.
I don't have no issues. I haven't seen most of these things play.
What? To my 1A public.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got issues. Calhoun County won the state,
And they're 3.
and they're 3, and they still bringing the player of the year, the junior guard Ty Curry, Curry. He's coming back. They backcourt is coming back, and
Well, give them the top 5 in that class.
yeah.
Come on, Lot.
No, I just think with the two, you got 2 returning backcourts, and because Greene County, they're gonna be down this year. Yeah, there's no way. Wilcox, yeah, Trutland, yeah. Calhoun County need to be number 1. I think Calhoun County's gonna repeat. And I'm
Wilkinson
calling
County and Irwin County round out the top 5.
it early. Yeah. All right, man. Let's just go to 1A proud. Let's get to that smoke.
Hey, look. So St. Francis, Walker, Green Forest, Trinity Christian, Holy Innocents, and then Mount Bethel at 6.
All right.
So, did somebody transfer to Walker School that I don't know about?
They did get a transfer.
Who?
Matthew Brown.
Who?
That's it. No hate, Matthew.
Yeah.
No shade, Matthew. But that's it.
Walker has gotten
At 2?
I'm-
At 2.
I think they got to the Elite 8 last year. Or
At
6.
2?
Elko got to the state championship.
Hey,
Elko
Walker,
got to the state championship.
Walker, I'm coming to see y'all play. I did not expect to pull up this list and see y'all at school. Yeah, I've seen him play over there. No, that I've seen. But 2,
Y'all got them on y'all schedule?
They're not on. they're in St. Francis region.
They in St. Francis.
I got to come and see them play because something is going on at Walker School. They're not the same team that I saw them play if they're at 2. I'll just say that. Like, no disrespect. I'm just saying. Like, St. Francis, okay, DeJuan Oldham, those guys, like, Jason Holt, like, I get it.
Defending state champion.
Like, I get it, right? I expected to see Green Forest there. We know their guys. We know what they got, even though they lost a couple. Like, I still expected them to see them up there somewhere. But I was thinking, like, 3-4, right?
Who, Green Forest? Well, they're 3.
They're 3.
So, yeah.
4. but cool. No, you know, all good. Mount Bethel at 6 and Holy Innocents at 5. How, Sway? They got the best players in single A. Outside of DeJuan Oldham, they have the best players in single A.
Players don't win games, though. Teams win games.
Thank you. Bruh. Okay. I definitely, I just want to see the matchup.
It's a preseason, yeah. It just, you know.
Okay.
I think this was really good dialogue. This is going to be going crazy in everybody's
Oh,
group
yeah,
chats this
for sure.
week.
For sure. Trinity Christian also.
Yeah.
They got players.
They got players.
I got to go see you play. I have to go see you. I have not seen them play. Hey, so we're going to take a break. But up next, we have in the building with us
A gorilla.
hey, man, a Georgia representative by way of Tallahassee. At least that's the location now. We'll say that. We got CY in the building with us. Florida State assistant coach CY in the building. We'll be introducing him to you in a second. Guys, make sure you keep it locked in. Make sure you stay with us. There you go. As we come back, next episode, be prepared. November 3rd, we will have a pre-recorded episode, Love of the Game podcast, unfiltered. We will be back to our roots for the next episode. Be sure to look out for us. Go like, follow, subscribe to SUV TV. Make sure you download the app, the SUV TV app as well. Roku, Amazon Fire, and I believe on your phones, iOS, I think, as well, too. Make sure you go download the app. Make sure you support SUV TV. They're doing an amazing job for us. Like, share, subscribe. We'll be back. It's Love of the Game podcast. You and Mount Bethel how?
Toward the lane and throws it down. That's what the crowd had been waiting on. A fantastic dunk coming in by Williamson. Trent, off balance jumper. Nailed it. Pierre to Gary Trent Jr. And oh my goodness, that's how you end the game, folks. Elbow stolen in the lane by Tracy. Here's Williamson, makes his way around one Titan. Now hustling in toward the lane and throws it down. That's what the crowd had been waiting on. A fantastic dunk coming in by Williamson. Elevated from almost the free throw line and finished strong. 7-point lead for Spartanburg Day, their biggest of the night. Three-pointer no good. Crawford in the lane finishes and one. A huge basket for Trinity Burns to get a little momentum and energy back on their side after it seemed like the entire gym was up for Spartanburg Day and Zion Williamson. He'll come off the double screen to the left. Oh, and wide open underneath. Sexton goes step back, fade away three. Oh, my goodness. Colin Sexton. In the lane by Tracy. Here's Williamson, makes his way around one tight. Now hustling it toward the lane and throws it down. That's what the crowd had been waiting on. A fantastic dunk coming in by Williamson. Trent, off balance jumper. Nailed it.
Pierre to Gary Trent Jr. Oh my goodness. That's how you end the game, folks.
Elbow stolen in the lane by Tracy. Here's Williamson, makes his way around one tight. Now hustling it toward the lane and throws it down. That's what the crowd had been waiting on. A fantastic dunk coming in by Williamson. Elevated from almost the free throw line and finished strong. 7-point lead for Spartanburg Day, their biggest of the night. Three-pointer no good. Crawford in the lane finishes and one. A huge basket for Trinity Burns to get a little momentum and energy back on their side after it seemed like the entire gym was up for Spartanburg Day and Zion Williamson.
Florida State assistant, the spotter of NBA talent, or maybe I should say developer of NBA talent. I don't know which one should get more credit, their ability to spot or your ability to develop. We have Florida State assistant head coach, Charlton Young, in the building with us. My man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. My pleasure to be here.
Affectionately known to the Georgia basketball community as CY. Currently at Florida State. Let's get to the real first, man. Let's start it out early, brother. Like, we want to know about these NBA kids that you guys are producing at Florida State right now. I feel like people are sleeping on y'all right now as far as when they look at Kentucky and their NBA guys or Duke and their NBA. Well, y'all got some of y'all own that y'all put in, man. Let's talk about that first.
I appreciate it. First, I want to say to all you guys, we were talking off camera. I say this everywhere I go.
respect is the ultimate currency. Not money, not jewels, respect. And I've been following the podcast and watching the podcast, and what you guys are doing for the game in Atlanta is unbelievable. Iron sharpens iron. Y'all got everybody talking. You got everybody getting better. And every kid is going to get more of an opportunity because you guys are kind of turning the crock pot on. And I had when I saw it, I said, I got to come be a part of it. I got to come be a part of the smoke. Where the smoke at? That's where I want to be. So you guys are big time for basketball. But back to your original question, Florida State and the guys that we've been developing. Jalen Hamilton, I think, is obviously the premier African-American head coach in the country, but not just talking about color, but one of the best CEOs and head coaches in the country.
Let's talk about it, yeah.
Not many people know that, and I don't know why, because of the consistency Florida State basketball has operated under probably in the last 17 years since he's been there. But we obviously, there's a certain type kid that we pigeonhole. We like size and position. We like athletic ability. And then skill is third for us. We feel like if they have the right character and they are gym rats, we can get them the skill, but we want dinosaurs. Don't bring me somebody short and strong, I can't make long.
Right.
Bring me somebody long, I can make strong. You know what I'm saying? And, really digging into their background and their character and their families and, high character gym rats. Everybody's not a gym rat. Everybody don't love the game like the guys is up here.
That's true.
And so we've been fortunate to identify some guys that really love the game and want to get better. And I think that's been the success.
You certainly have a few that are playing pretty well in the league right now.
Proud of them.
We just saw Bacon get off, right, and do his thing. But I think when you talk about character and resilience, right, like you got a kid like that who was tested early in the league, right, where, like we talked about this lock off air too, where guys I always respected guys in the NBA that get challenged and early, right? Have a couple other players picked alongside of them, and it's like, okay, yeah, you were first round, or you got this draft status, and now we're gonna pick a couple other guys and see who kind of survives and shakes out. Like you got a kid, Malik Beasley, who survived on a tough roster to make it on right now too, Huff. Like, but that tells me a lot about how well a kid has been coached and about the mental makeup of that kid to be able to survive that. And Bacon's kind of come out. I feel like he's gonna shake out at Charlotte.
Yeah, he's turned the corner. The first 2 years were rough.
Yeah.
But he's a guy that kind of got it out the mud. Didn't play on a major shoe team. Played for Showtime. Had a loyal gene. Stayed in the same place with Showtime and Diana Neal. Could have gone play for anybody. Stayed there. Got better. And he's always been resilient. And the same thing we offered him in the 8th grade. I've been recruiting the boy since 1964, since he was born. And when he blew up, he had Kentucky, he had all these people, and he was loyal to Florida State and to the relationship with Coach Hamilton and our staff. And he's one of those guys, when he gets in a situation, he's loyal to it. He's loyal to the Hornets. In his mind, I'm going to retire in Charlotte. I'm not trying to go somewhere.
Yeah.
He believes in what they're doing, and he's going to work his butt off to become the face of the franchise. And consistent behavior says he's going to do it. He did it for Showtime. He raised the level. He did it for our program in Florida State. He's raised the level of our recruiting. It's interesting that you bring up Dwayne Bacon. We've had a bunch of pros. We've had, Malik Beasley. We've had Jonathan Isaac. We had Terrence Mann. We had Kamageli. We had Okoro White and Al Thornton and Tony Douglas. We've had a lot of guys.
Yep.
But when I go out on the road recruiting, the guy that kids ask me about the most is Dwayne Bacon. You know, they love Dwayne Bacon.
IG presence is pretty
That
hot, too.
home team sports,
Yeah.
the videos that they put out
Yeah.
on the internet has really made him a household name.
I think the kid's gonna get it done. Like when I see that again, like I said, with Bacon, with Beasley, Jonathan Isaac has been in that position. Like them guys is on teams that got some talent and got some talent around their position and have been able to navigate and dig that through. What are those practices like for those kids? Like that, those experience of getting them from kind of that raw high school athlete or player, and then kind of forming them into that pro player. What is that process like?
Well, let's talk about Malik Beasley first, Coach Huff's guy. I came over years ago. Huff grabbed my pants leg as soon as I walked in the gym, and he said, "Listen, they talking about this guy, they talking about that guy, but that's the one." Now he was in the 9th grade. He was in the 9th grade.
Wow.
He said, "That's the one." Now, nobody could fake the sincerity I saw in his face when he told me, "That's the one."
Yeah.
I said, "I'll be here every other week." So I kept coming, and the other guys over there, I mean, Kobe Simmons, Kaiser Gates, he was kind of overshadowed. They were ball dominant. But what I loved about him, and what's a big key to kids making it to the next level, is can you be a great player and be a non-ball dominant guy?
That's difficult for a lot of people.
See, a lot of people don't. Now, a lot of parents, I want my son to have the ball in his hand.
Oh, they don't
I got
wanna
to
hear
go
that.
somewhere with the ball in his hand.
They don't
But
wanna
I'm
hear that.
telling you, if you was LeBron, if you was Kevin Durant, we would know already. We would have got the email. So everybody else is just regular. And if you regular, which ain't bad, you got to find a way to be able to affect the game in a non-ball dominant way. So I would go and watch, and I would be amazed. Malik Beasley always was a gorilla.
Yeah.
From the beginning, he was a gorilla. They didn't know it,
Right.
but every time I went over to see him, my alarm started going off. I
Yeah.
said, when he was in the 9th grade, he ain't no plays running for him. These boys jacking up the ball. He got deflection, back tip,
Yeah.
tip dunk, run the lane.
Yeah.
Everything was in the flow of the game. And if you watch the game, he had 22 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 blocks. And they ain't throwing the ball yet.
Hey man, this almost feel like when we had Dez on one side and Mario Mays on the other side, and I feel like it was raining diamonds on top of my head, man. Hey, you said
The great pros, guys who are going to make it to the NBA that's coming out the grassroots level right now,
yeah,
are guys that could affect the game,
without the ball.
non-ball dominant. I had a kid named Terrence Mann at Florida State. I signed him. Everybody laughed at me. Now, they laugh at me all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a kid. I can have that
Laugh at you for Terrence Mann.
Coach, they laughed at me for Tony Douglas. They laughed at me for Terrence Mann. I mean, I know when I offered Malik, it was Sanford and maybe College of Charlton. So I tried to hide. I tried to hide. They said, "You over here to see Kobe Simmons?" I said, "No, I like him over there. Not here to see him." But I didn't want to tell them who I was there to see. But Terrence Mann, I saw as a 9th grader, and I went to see him, and his own mother was like, he won't shoot. He's terrible. His own mama. I said, "Don't worry about it. He's a pro." I saw him. He had 9 points, 13 rebounds, 6 steals, 4 blocks. He got into a tussle with a guy under the basket. He was a freshman, and the ball went up. And the guy had him like this, and he couldn't get it. He reached up like this, and he tapped it to his teammate under the basket. He laid it up. I said, "Scholarship." I said, "Scholarship." Coach.
Whoa.
I knew
As a ninth
he was a
grader.
pro.
As a 9th grader.
Yeah, so he was about 6'4" and a quarter, long neck, big head, body was kind of gangly. I said, if he eats some Whoppers, do some push-ups,
Yeah.
grow about an inch or 2 inches, pro. See, when you see these kids, it's not who they are. It's what they're going to be.
Become.
Right.
See, that's why I don't get excited. Everybody loves, oh, he's the number one eighth grader, number one ninth grader in the country. That's the worst thing that happened to you, Coach.
Here we go.
Man,
See,
let's
the only
talk
thing you get for being the number one eighth grader is to go to the ninth grade. That's all you get. That's all you get to do.
Yeah.
You number one ninth grader in the country. All you get to do go to the 10th grade.
Go to the 10th grade.
Yeah. So you want them, they're gonna blossom at the right time. See, the late bloomers are the ones that really, you know what I mean? That really make that jump. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, I see the ones in the 8th, 9th grade, Coach. By the time they're in 11th grade, now they fade to black.
They peak out.
It happens all the time, and everybody get excited about them. So I'm not looking for the, 8th, 9th graders with them big burly bodies. I'm like, whew. I want the one with the long, skinny one with the, with the skinny neck.
Yeah.
No hair on his face, 2 strings on his chin.
So we're talking about that, and that brings me to a guy I think is finna blow up for you guys this year. Mr.
Go ahead, say his name.
Devin Vassell.
Ooh, Devin Vassell, Coach.
People laugh when he
They
got that
laughed
offer.
when they laughed.
They laughed at me.
Everybody was like,
Wow.
Florida State.
Coach,
Peachtree
I
Ridge.
was in a recruiting war with Presbyterian. Coach, I was fighting off North Florida.
Good
Coach,
grief.
I knew it. First time I saw him, 8 minutes. I said, stop the scrimmage. I reached out his hand. I said, son, you want a scholarship to Florida State? He was trembling like this. I said, yes, sir. I said, where your mom at? Coach, but when he committed to us, see, at Florida State, we're an ACC program, but we got to get in early. We got to build a relationship early.
Yeah.
Human beings buy with their eyes. We need people who buy with their heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people, bushes and buildings, they get excited about them. And I don't know why, because you can't take bushes and buildings home. But some of these schools, they got all the bells and whistles. We're a big-time program.
Right.
But we're still growing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't have the tradition of, Kansas and Kentucky.
Right.
We're still growing. So people see that, and they get excited. They human beings, they buy with their eyes.
Man, what I've seen from you guys, especially on the defensive end, on the boards, blocking shots.
Jalen Hamilton way.
Man.
Jalen Hamilton.
That I definitely feel like people are buying with their eyes because they definitely ain't buying with dude, watch you play. Go watch you guys play. And if you can run and jump and I was just amazed at how you guys teach kids the little things. Like I'm going back and watching the Duke game this morning, and I'm like, man, these dudes out here hooping. They're hooping.
That's a great point. And being able to play both sides of the ball is key to getting to the next level.
Yeah.
So we got to get guys to buy in to that, which is hard to do. Years ago, Jalen and Hamilton had the knock that all they did was play defense and score 50 points a game. Now, the number one word in civilization is evolution.
For sure.
Cars get better,
Yep.
shoes get better, TVs get better.
Yeah.
My first job, everybody, they laugh at me because I know everybody in the city, but I'm from the 1900s now. You know what I mean? My first job, they gave me a pager. You know what I mean? And they don't sell Cadillacs where you roll the window down no more. You can't get an 8-track tape in your car. My uncle mad about that. You got to evolve. So, Coach Hamilton got to the point where he said, okay, we starting to recruit some better players. We got to play a little faster, open this thing up, set ball screens. You got to give them credit for evolving that way. So now we play the defensive side of the ball. But on the offensive side of the ball, Malik Beasley and them was getting up down that court. Dwayne Bacon and Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah, get it in.
Them boys getting down the court and scoring and manufacturing points. So now people couldn't say,
Just defense. Yeah,
couldn't
that's what I'm
say
shooting
that.
with a lot of confidence.
don't get emotional, read the data.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
In the last 4 or 5 years, we've been in the top 2 or 3 in scoring
100%.
in the ACC.
Yeah.
So it's really come together. I mean, we fought our way into becoming a top 10 program. I got to give a shout out to Coach Hamilton, Stan Jones, associate head coach, Dennis Gates, who just took the job at Cleveland State. It's been a lot of people that helped to get it where we are now. We feel like we're a legitimate top 10 program. We've been the 3rd winning this program in the ACC. But, you know, ain't nobody saying we number 3.
Yeah.
You know,
Right,
we get to the
right.
point where we want to flip it. We need to win a national championship. And we've been close the last couple years.
I have.
2 years ago, we was 45 seconds from the Final Four.
Yeah, yeah.
Last year, Phil Kofer's father passed in the middle of the run.
Yeah.
The other senior got hurt. If that doesn't happen,
100%.
I think we in the Final Four and we might win it.
Had a chance to win.
Yeah, I mean, and I say that, I know some people watching this may frown, but like I said, I don't get emotional. I read the data. We had to watch Purdue and Virginia play to go to the Final Four. We beat both of them.
Right, right.
The last game that Virginia lost was to Florida State. We beat them handily in the ACC tournament.
Yep.
There was no reason for us to think that we
Couldn't be.
could not win it.
Y'all just did such a good job, man, of taking people out of
they wanted to
everything what they
accomplish.
wanted to do, man. Just everything. Like, even I'm watching y'all again. Like I said, I was watching the Duke game this morning. Y'all just challenging Zion at the rim. Like, y'all had guys, Zion, throughout the rest of their season, I feel like didn't have trouble with people who played. It was almost like he didn't, until he ran into y'all, he didn't face a team that played as hard as he played. It was like no matter what, he could lean on the fact that I'm just going to play harder than you, right? But I felt like against you guys, it was, nah, though. You drive down the lane, you getting met at the rim. Like, what time is it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, y'all wasn't trying to hear that. And I feel like the point you said about, like, we're still growing, when I watch you guys play, I feel like even after all of the accomplishments, the NBA players, the runs that you guys been on time, that y'all are still getting better. Y'all not supposed to do this, be able to do this at a football school, coach. That's what they tell me, that you're not supposed to be able to do this at a football school. How do you guys accomplish all of this at Florida State?
Well, again, our leadership is tremendous with Coach Hamilton. He has really gotten the guys to buy into depth, to playing fast, to playing multiple people. You know, most people look at the way we play and they say, hey, you ain't going to be able to play 38 minutes a game. You ain't going to be able to get there. But, Coach, I don't get emotional. I read the data. Our 6th man went 27 last year in the first round. But Fondu Kamagelli.
Yeah.
He never started a game for us. He came off the bench. He played 25, 26 minutes a game. He was a first-round pick. He almost went
Lottery.
We thought he was going 13 or 14, to be honest with you. So our system is proven. Guys get better. Guys learn how to affect the game in a non-ball dominant fashion. Guys learn to defend at the high level, which is the other thing where the NBA teams are starting to really like Florida State guys. You know, Terrence Mann played 1 through 4 for us. Played backup point, played the 2, the 3, and the 4, power forward. He goes to the Clippers. They're playing him at the point because of our system and the way we play, and they feel like he can be a big-time defender on the perimeter. So we're excited about taking the next step. We feel like we're close. I tell you what, living in Atlanta is a big key to that. Atlanta is the best basketball city in the country right now.
Say that one more time.
Atlanta is the best, and I'm gonna get in trouble saying that now. I'm from Miami, Florida. Yeah, I'm born and raised 27th Avenue, 183rd Street, Carroll City, and in Florida, we have good basketball, but Atlanta is a whole different. I mean, I tell people this all the time. It's a pro on every corner in Atlanta. I ain't lying. If you come and can evaluate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't read the list, see these young Thundercats, they love that list. I don't. These young Thundercats, boy, they read that list. You say, what about this guy? They say, Coach, he ain't on the list. I said, these young boys don't know a point guard from a chimpanzee. So I don't read no list. When I come in the gym, I don't know who is who. I don't want no preconceived notions of what he's supposed to be.
Wow.
If he is a gorilla, right here gonna go off, I'ma know. So I don't go in and thinking this guy's a 5-star, this guy's a 3-star. No, I'm gonna watch the game and I'm gonna see how he affects the game, and then that's how I'm gonna offer. So I don't care if they say he's a 2-star and my alarm go off. Devin Vassell was a 2-star. I offered him on the spot. He might be, before it's over, a lottery guy.
Wow.
And you know, I don't like to just blurt stuff out.
Yeah.
Okay, I get on people around me that just like blurt me, right? So don't say something around me unless you got some data to back it up.
Yeah.
You know, for example, for instance, you know what I mean?
Right.
You learn that English 151. So I think Devin Vassell is a pro. And if somebody is a pro, it ain't nothing new under the sun. Who is he? Who is he? If I can see who he is, he's a pro. If I can't see who he is, he's probably just a great college player. Get a coaching job, go work at Walmart, whatever. That's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when I saw Devin Vassell, I saw Jeremy Lamb. And that's why I pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
When I saw Malik Beasley, I kept going and watching, and I couldn't figure it out. I said, this boy's a pro, but I couldn't. And about the 4th time I came back and I told Huff, I said, this boy's Byron Scott. Now, to young people, they don't know who that is. But for me, Byron Scott was the 4th pick in the draft, 1977, Arizona State, played with Magic, 18 points a game, take off on one leg. Get in the passing lane, still averages 19, and he played with Magic, Worthy, and Kareem. Still got his 19. So when I saw Beasley, I said, this boy is Byron Scott. So I pulled the trigger.
Do we make a mistake? Like, I feel like, man, I'm telling you, it's raining on me right now. Do we make a mistake by only comparing kids to greats, current greats? But I'm saying, normally when we compare a kid, we only compare them to, I want to say, as Stephen A. say, there are levels of superstardom in the NBA, and we only typically compare kids to superstars, where you're saying, if I can see them, and you're comparing kids to Byron Scott, who was an amazing player in his own right, right? But most people who are watching Lakers Celtics are comparing kids to Bird, McHale, Magic, Kareem. Are we losing something when we only compare our kids, or try to mold, more importantly, try to mold our kids into the games of superstar players?
In my humble opinion, yes. You know, I got a kid right now that I think might be the best point guard in the country that nobody knows about. His name is Trent Forrest. Trent Forrest from Chipley, Florida. I mean, he's a pro. They don't know it yet, but he is. I think he's the best point guard in college basketball. Not point guard, not player, but best point guard. So when sometimes I see him, I say, he's a poor man's Russell Westbrook. But worst case scenario, he's at least Elfrid Payton.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why I know he's a pro. He's somewhere in between there.
Between those two guys.
Elfrid Payton ain't no NBA All-Star, but made about $50 million so far.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Still in the league.
Really
Still
good
in the
player.
league.
And it's hard to get 8-9 years in the league.
100%.
You know, most guys go to the league, they stay 2 years.
2 years,
3 years. So if you're a 9-10 year guy, you're a gorilla now. There ain't no doubt about it. You get 8 to 10 in the league, you are a gorilla.
100%.
No question.
100%. 400, was it 450, 400 some odd roster spots in the NBA? 60 guys coming in every year?
60 guys.
Yep.
Coach, 60. And listen,
It's tough.
in the world, Craig, in the world.
In the world.
In the world. Not in the United States of America. In the world.
That's tough.
So I know we've talked a lot about Florida State, but I want to take you back a little bit, which I think kind of is why you were entrenched in Atlanta a little bit. The success and times you had at Georgia Tech. That's where I got the chance to really get to know you and form our friendship. But talk about those times, because y'all had some dogs at Georgia Tech too now.
Now, Paul Hewitt does not get enough credit for what he did
Yep.
at Georgia Tech. I think, in my humble opinion, and Coach Crimmins is a dear friend of mine, I think Paul Hewitt is the best to ever do it at Georgia Tech. I think he's 1A, and obviously Coach Crimmins is 1B. But, like, again, I don't get emotional. I read the data. He went to the championship game. You know, Coach Crimmins took him to the Final Four. Paul Hewitt took him to the national championship game with kids that were graduating and doing it the right way academically. Not to say that the ones before him wasn't, but I think the success we had there was, and some of it was going on even before I got there. I helped them keep it going, but they had Chris Bosh and Jared Jack before I got there. Now, you know, I was able to help them, you know, with Thaddeus Young and Iman Shumpert and Derek Favors and, you know, Javaris Crittenden, and, you know, it's a lot of guys that were really, really good. I think the one and done thing kind of hurt Coach Hewitt and Georgia Tech. I think we needed to find a happy medium of 4-year guys and one and dones. But he was a great coach, really good CEO, better than what they give him credit for, no question.
I mean, you talk about those guys that you have, like, and you're not even talking about the BJ Elders.
Oh, yeah, and them guys were special now. Tony McHenry, Will Bynum, BJ Elder.
I was about to say, we naming a lot of pros. We naming a lot of pros, man.
I mean, and we had some great 4-year guys. One kid I'm more proud of is probably going to be an NBA head coach is a kid by the name of Mufon Yadofi.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Was a great 4-year player there, a winner.
Yep.
Zach Peacock, Glenn Rice Jr. He wound up being a pro, and
Mario West.
Mario West.
Yeah.
Mario West was special.
Yeah.
Now he was a silverback. You know what I mean? Mario West was I mean, you gotta go deep in the safari to find Mario West. Now, you know, it's raining. You know what I'm saying, Coach? Coach, I used to have this drill when I was at Georgia Tech called the channel penetration drill, and at one point we would have Mario West, Javaris Crittenden, and Anthony Morrow in this channel penetration drill. Coach, it was if I had it on film today to see these 3 guys and Lewis Clinch.
Yes.
Cordell Jordan.
Yeah.
Lewis Clinch. Oh my goodness, these guys. So it's basically I set up an alley from the half court all the way to the basket, and you had to play one-on-one in this alley to teach them how to Majerus and wipe and mush and hold the line. And Mario West was not considered a great offensive player. He was considered a defensive juggernaut, but not a great offensive player. And with Javaris and Mario and Anthony Morrow and Clint, Mario West found a way to win a lot of those tussles when guys wasn't thinking that he was a great offensive player. It was unreal to watch, just the level of basketball knowledge, the competitive nature, just 4 basically pros going at each other saying, I'm going to be the best today. You know, that's why I like this show so much. With the Love of the Game podcast, this is big time because y'all elevate basketball in the city. Now everybody got to go a little bit harder, and it makes everybody better. You know,
no doubt.
It makes everybody better. You know, and if you're gonna play anything, you got to go where the best of the best is. If your son or daughter plays the violin, you need to find out wherever the best violin players are, and you need to take her or him to play the violin over there. You don't want to be the world's tallest midget. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing worse than being the world's tallest midget. Coach saw me last week. I brought my boys from Tallahassee up here to Atlanta playing a middle school camp.
Elite 100 camp.
I take them everywhere because in Tallahassee they considered really good players. But I don't want them to be the world's tallest midget. You know what I mean? I don't want them saying, I'm 3'6". Yeah, but you still a midget. So you got to go where it is, and this is where it is. Atlanta is where it is right now, no question.
Hey, this is gold, man.
I'm gonna keep coming with you. So we're gonna talk a little about your stop at Georgia Southern, because I just want to talk about this one kid, Eric Ferguson, and I don't think people realize pre-injury what he was. That game versus Auburn. I just talk a little bit about that.
So Eric Ferguson is my godson. His father and I were roommates at Georgia Southern. His mother was like my big sister in college. She called my mom and told her when I was running the street. You know what I mean? I got really fortunate to coach Eric Ferguson and help him grow and develop. Eric Ferguson was a special talent, definitely was an NBA talent. A couple of injuries, some bad decision off the court. You know, kids make bad decisions, but he's bounced back from it. But he was definitely high end of the spectrum, Rudy Gay. Low end of the spectrum, Corey Brewer. I'm really proud of him now. He's doing well, playing in Hong Kong now, having a great pro career. But he could have been an NBA guy. If he could have been a little bit more focused. He was young. He and I talked about it, just immature. You know, small town, Statesboro, country boy.
Staying at home.
Yeah.
Played high school.
Yeah. But he's doing really well now. I'll never forget one of my proudest moments. I've had some proud moments. I'll say two of them, because I left one name out that I had no business going back to Georgia Tech. Ghani Lawal. Woo! One of the best days of my life. I went to Peace Jam and watched Ghani Lawal destroy Blake Griffin. Wow. I was walking around like George Jefferson. That was one of the best days of my life. But also, Eric, we had to put him in prep school to get him eligible. So I put him at Winchendon Prep, and he went head to head with Will Barton and gave it to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like really gave it to him.
Yeah.
That was one of those, as a coach, when you find one that nobody don't really know about, and your guy shows up and gives it to him, you got to stick your chest out a little bit.
For sure.
So not knowing about kids, you know the next thing that's gonna come is coaches. I got this kid. Nobody knows about. What makes you? Because we've had this discussion. You talked about it at the clinic.
At the clinic.
Yeah. What makes you say, I'm gonna believe in what you're saying, Coach?
Well, now listen, that's a great question. Number one, I try to kick over every stone. I try to teach young coaches that want to earn respect. You know, a lot of high school coaches, AAU coaches, they want to have that respect where they pick up the phone and I say, hey, I got a guy. And a guy like me says, okay, Locks, you call me, I'll be there tomorrow, right? How do you earn that respect? I think the way you earn that respect is the verbiage that you use and truly showing that you understand college basketball. Now, a lot of guys get emotional about their play, right? And I respect that because I love my kids too. You know, I have the same deal with the NBA, but you got to be realistic and you got to truly understand college basketball. And so what I mean is every coach in every league needs a player that's one league better than them. That's the key to getting guys to respect you. So if you got a kid that you think is a mid-major plus player, you can't call Georgia or Florida State and say, listen, I got one for you. No, you got to place that kid at South Alabama.
Right.
So now if you place that kid at where he's one league higher and that kid does work, now when you pick up the phone, a guy like me gonna be like, hey, Coach, that's my man. Where Bryce hit me, Bryce, I'll be down. You know what I mean? Listen, man, I'm having dinner with the family, but you know, if you call me, I'm gonna be there. You know what I mean? And you gotta find those type guys. And a lot of guys in college, in AAU grassroots, they don't have that feel. But then there's guys that do, that get that respect because when they call you on a guy, he's the real deal, and they understand that. That's a big thing for high school coaches because high school coaches, AAU coaches, you call me about a guy and he's a Big South player. Now I'm gonna send you a text. I'll get you tomorrow, Coach. You understand what I'm saying? You kind of lose your credibility. You know, you lose your credibility.
Coach, you've had the ability to see so many guys so young. I just want to keep asking questions like how. Okay, projecting, like you're projecting a player and you have this range of where they fit. Man, how? How do you see a kid in the 9th grade, Coach? How do you really see a kid as a man, Coach, I've seen some 9th graders play basketball.
Right.
Like you said, how do you know that the kid that's goofy, that's uncoordinated, that man, it's some kids that can't. I'm imagining that can't walk and chew bubble gum, and you can look at those kids and be like, "Yep, that one. This was gonna make it."
I've been doing it 26 years. That's a long time, and you know, when you do something so long, every year I've tried to get a little better and add a little something to my game. And I also done it long enough where I got case studies where I can, certain kids, I can compare on that kid and see how this kid turned out. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, I was there when Tony Douglas was at Jonesboro. Everybody laughed at me on Tony Douglas. Tony Douglas was playing for the Harry Douglas All-Stars.
Right.
He's right there at Jonesboro, and nobody, no Georgia Tech, no Auburn, no Georgia. I mean, I was at Auburn, so I signed him at Auburn, and then when I got fired, I went to Chattanooga's associate head coach, and I told Coach Hamilton, you need to take this one.
This the guy. Right.
You need to take this one.
Yeah.
He says, 1 or 2, don't worry about that, Chief. Don't worry about that. You need to take this. And he was able to develop into a point guard over there and become a pro. But Tony Douglas was, you remember we used to go to Orlando back in the day? AAU championship. And you know, in Orlando, they played in the big building. It was called the Milk House. Well, Tony Douglas played in the NBA Finals. He still ain't played in the Milk House in Orlando. He's playing court 27. I'm going out there 7 in the morning watching him get 40, and nobody was there.
Nobody was there.
And it happens. But see, listen, think about the sleepers that have come out of this city alone. Andrew Goodluck.
Yep.
Marshawn Brooks.
Yeah.
Kevin Murphy. I mean, the kid Jordan Hill goes to Arizona out there in Kennesaw.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pros. I mean, it happens, guys, but also, again, evaluating character. I mean, size at position, athletic ability, then skill. Then you ask yourself a couple questions. Does he have a high IQ? Is he a high character? Is he a championship person? Because championship people win championships. And is he a gym rat? See, that's a huge question.
Let's get what is that? And break that down on what you mean when you say, is he a gym rat? Because it's a lot of people who might think that they gym rats, but don't understand what that schedule really means to somebody like you.
Well, Beasley. Beasley, because I would be on the road, and he would call me 20 times. Chief, when you come back? When you come back like a Rain Man? He was shaking. When you come back? Now, I used to have to catch flights back early to get back. Or I used to have to call him up. Hey, I'm not going to go home. I'm going to come straight to the, when I get off the plane, I'm coming straight to the gym. Then I'm going home just so he could get, all I want to get is, I got to get 20 minutes of offhand development twice a week. Think about that now.
Offhand.
Wow.
I got to get 20 minutes. So guys who get in the gym and work on their deficiencies, but also work efficiently. So when Beasley went to the gym, you had to give him a plan. Now listen, what we working on today.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to get shots off the move. We're going to get mid-range 2-foot pop floaters, 1-leg floaters, and we're going to get 1-dribble drag threes. When we come back later, we're going to get all left-hand ball screens, all left-hand finishes, no dunks, got to be laid out the glass. And he ate that up. That's how I knew he was a pro.
Yeah.
Because anything that you gave him to get better, and Vassell's the same way. To be honest with you, our culture at Florida State, the guys that we're getting now, Bacon, Jonathan Isaac, all these guys are like that. So if you come in the program and you not like that, you stick out like a sore thumb. It's like they don't.
Want to kick rock
Yeah,
with
coach, he ain't one of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's funny because Beasley was like that in high school. Like, freshman year, we lose the Kenny Gaines, Lorenzo Carter, Eric Lockett in the Sweet 16. As a ninth grader, they hadn't really understood what it meant to lift weights yet. But when that group took it to us in the Sweet 16, after coming off beating North Cobb Christian, who hadn't lost a game,
Yep.
I never had to worry about Malik Beasley getting in the weight room ever again. So much so, Marcus Spivey will tell you this is a truth. He comes over to St. Francis. He looks in the weight room and he sees this kid. He doesn't know who Malik Beasley is. It's before a game. He says, Coach, there's this kid in the weight room. It looks like he's on play. Who is that? And it was Malik Beasley. During playoff time, I would have to tell Malik, we can't have 3 workouts in a day. I need you fresh.
We used to have to tell him that at Florida State.
So
Same
we
thing.
talking about a kid that you saying it not just mandatory weight, because there's some kids thinking they grinding when they in the weight room just with the team. We talking about outside of that by himself in the weight room on game days, on lifting, working out, still training. Kids, it's okay to work out the day of the game is what we basically saying. Like, that's okay. Get that work in.
Beasley wasn't going into no game without getting what we called a 20-minute hit, where he would come in and we would go balance drill, form shooting, balance drill, spot shots, game shots. We put 20 minutes on the clock, and he would be sweating. And we start off form shooting, balance drill, spot shots, game shots. That was his routine. Now, think about what I just told you. People don't realize this. Malik Beasley had the best freshman year in the history of the ACC until these 3 boys came last year. Williamson. He had the most double-digit scoring games. Now, that's in the history of the ACC. Now, you understand what I'm telling you? You understand the words coming out of my mouth?
Yes, that's major. Yeah.
And now, people don't respect that. But I'm talking about James Worthy, Lynn Bias, Pearl Washington, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I'm talking about John Sally, Mark Price, Kenny Anderson. The boy had the best freshman year in the history of the Atlantic Coast Conference. But he worked for it. He had a routine. And Bacon was right there with him in terms of double-digit scoring games. But, that's an unbelievable accomplishment. And he earned it. He earned it. When I coach kids, I don't even see basketball. I see life. You know what I'm saying? I said to you earlier, championship people win championships.
Yeah.
So when I go recruit a kid, I go to practice. Now listen to what I'm telling you. I go to practice, and if I watch a kid run a sprint, and he run 91 and a half feet, and he stopped and turn around and go the other way, I'm not recruiting. Something wrong with his mind, Coach.
Hello.
Something wrong with his mind. Coach, I'm almost 100 years old with a bad back. If I run down the court, my mind ain't gonna let me touch that line, Coach. I can't run all the way down here and
I
not
touch that line.
my mind ain't gonna let me do that. So there's winners and there's losers. I can look at Mario West when he first came. He was a walk-on. I wasn't sure he was no pro. I would love to come in here and say I'm a genius. I knew Mario West. I didn't know he was no pro, but I knew that boy was gonna own Starbucks or something the way he worked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or own a construction company. You see what I'm saying? And that's why Paul Hewitt took him and eventually gave him a scholarship. And he worked. But championship people, it's about the character. That's what you take a chance on. That's what you know what I mean? You get to know a kid, and you know, I see some kids, they lazy, they spoiled, you know, they body language bad when they being coached. You know, you probably go to their apartment or their house, he probably sleep on a mattress with no sheet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you sleep on a mattress with no sheet, you sorry, Coach. Like, you gonna be selling slushes at Circle K. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay. I mean, I love y'all. I love you. I ain't mad at you. I ain't trying to fight. I'm gonna come buy some slushes. But you sorry. You know what I mean?
Championship person.
Not, and it all ties into one.
So you tell Coach, if you walk in to the apartment and the kid room ain't clean, Coach.
Coach.
So man, if he got socks,
Doritos in the
and
bed, goes. He ain't gonna make it, Coach. I mean, it just, you can see who they are in between the lines, and that's what you bet on. See, Devin Vassell, when you tell him something, Coach, he
locked in.
Coach, you right now, you can say, hey, Devin, man, I think you need to work in there. He'd be like, yes, sir, I'm gonna look into that. He ain't gonna character high. You see what I'm saying? And those are the guys that become successful. And people don't want to admit that or buy that. But, you know, it's certain kids that you see and you say, man, why he don't have an offer from Florida State?
There's a reason.
And I done went over there and I done put my eyes on them and, oof, don't feel comfortable.
Sheesh.
Don't feel comfortable. So it's not just ability, it's character.
Coach, tell us about, like you said, you've been in this for a long time. 25 years?
26.
26 years?
That's it.
What was the moment when it comes to just you and the game? Where did it come down to a single moment where you felt like, you know what? Like, I really, like, I want to do this. I want to be a part of this. Like, this game is special. When did the game just become special for you where you knew, like, I got to be around this?
I probably was 12. I was on Bunch Park in Miami, playing double rims and chains. Won the hustle.
Yeah.
Pick my team. Give me Itchy. Give me Short Man. Give me Gator Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was playing with the older guys, and I picked a team, and it's 100 dudes out there, and we went 11-1. And I'm playing with the older guys.
Yeah.
And that day, I said, "This is it.
This is for me.
I'm gonna get better. They're gonna stop calling me skinny man. I'm gonna come out here and shoot this ball every day till every time I let it go, I wanted respect."
Right.
So the game is beautiful, man. The game, see, I've learned so many things about the game, but preparation is the biggest thing I learned from the game. So I started watching TV and I said, man, Kareem 7 foot throwing hooks, Magic 6'9", I ain't 6'9". I saw Isaiah Thomas. I said I could be him.
That's why I fell in love with Coach.
That's what I fell in love with guys. I wanted to be one step better than Isaiah Thomas. So we started hooping at 4. I would go out there about 2:45, and I'd take about 250, 500.
Yeah.
And then they would come out there and pick the teams. I come from under the tree like I just got out there. I've been out there. So they picked me, and double rims and chains, everybody getting to the rack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Double rims and chains, you can shoot.
Yeah.
You like,
You can really shoot.
oh,
it.
you
Go.
can shoot. Yeah, they like,
Yeah.
shorty for the pink apartments, he real. You know what I'm saying? Now my first 3 J's, ching, ching, ching. Now they respect me. So now I'm working on my game more. But see, I'm not about to do anything in life without preparation.
Yeah.
If I gotta give a speech or whatever it is, I learned that from basketball. And I think, at a young age, I knew that I loved the game. I wanted to play it. I wanted to play in college. I wanted to be a pro. And I knew I had to be around it for the rest of my life. Probably I was a Hall of Fame player at Georgia Southern. Maybe my senior year, I started getting, like the little mail outs from the questionnaires from the Hornets and the Clippers. And I kind of knew I was going to get a chance. I got cut by the Clippers in '93, then went to France, and then went over a year. And, that's a long story short, there was pre-internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, now it wasn't no Facebook, wasn't no Skype. So I had 41 in Nice. I called my mama at 3 in the morning. She said, boy, get off my phone. It's 3 in the morning. I'm like, my own mama don't want to talk to me. You know what I mean? So it was a lonely deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I came back and took a coaching job in '94 at Auburn as administrative assistant. And I said, I'm going to just take 1 year off, and I'm going to go back to Europe.
Yeah.
And 26 years later, here I am talking to you. I said, God must be trying to tell me something. Most guys volunteering at elementaries and junior highs. And my first job was in the SEC.
Wow.
So when I told Cliff Ellis I was going back overseas, he said, hey, man, you a coach. I made about 70 the first year, which was good. I thought I was rich. I was about to retire. You know what I mean? I came back to Atlanta. I brought me a Mitsubishi and a Biggie Small CD. I was living, see?
Right.
And I got about a $15,000 raise to go back to Poussy Chateau, La Rochelle. But the guy I was working for at Auburn said, man, you a coach. And I'll go up to whatever I got to do to keep you. I was like, wow. It was like, once I started doing it, I was intoxicated by it. And, I've been blessed to do my passion for a living. I'm a cop. I am the job.
Right.
And if you're gonna be in coaching, you gotta understand that. But when I was in college, I had an epiphany that I would be the first African American head coach at Georgia Southern. When I was playing there, like I saw it.
Yeah.
And so I always kind of knew it would come back around. And then in 2008, I go into the Hall of Fame there. And in 2009, I'm the first black head coach there. And I saw that in '93. So, I'm a lifer. You know what I mean? I love the game. I love the lessons that I learned. I learned how it saves kids' lives and gives people opportunities. And it's a beautiful game. I think it's the most popular game in the world right now. I know some people would argue and say soccer, but if you watch the success of basketball in all the countries and all the NBA stars, these boys from overseas are coming and they getting off. Luka Doncic and the Greek Freak. It's a lot. That's why kids here got to work, because the competition is not just.
The United States.
Oh, it's a young boy in Turkey right now that's
Working.
that's training around the clock.
That your 26 years, it's probably something I've never said to you, is how you impact others along these 26 years. And you'll remember this, and I personally want to thank you for Maurice Howard, because you didn't have to make that call. And it's changed his life. He's all conference as a senior.
Preseason player of the year.
Yeah.
Well, the more you give, the more you receive. And that's the first thing you learn in the Bible. And I think a lot of coaches, especially college coaches, I think they struggle with that. You know, two things I think college coaches struggle with is being a little bit selfish and a lack of humility. You know what I mean? I think, you know, I love coming here and you know, I feel like I'm one of the guys. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I always, you know, I understand, and I think that's why J. Leonard Hamilton is so successful also. We understand that we are not Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? We are not Nelson Mandela. We did not make the cure for cancer. All we do is coach basketball. And that's something that everybody can share and learn from each other and be respected for, no matter what level you have. One of the most guys, the guy I might respect more in the history of basketball is an AAU coach, the great Wallace Prather. The great Wallace Prather was a phenomenal human being, a genius. The AAU that we see now, he built it. He built it. All these guys that you see now, you know, Winfrey, Jordan, Julio, Squirt, Dez. All these guys are Wallace Prather's disciples. And he saved a lot of, it was a time where there was one team. And he controlled from here to South Georgia. And the Atlanta Celtics, I remember going to follow them in 95, 96. And they beating teams around the country by 70 points. And I'm talking about they loaded. Dwight Howard, Josh Smith, Randolph Morris, Martavis Ward, B.J. Elder, Ishmael Muhammad. All these guys were coming off the bench, you know, loaded. You know, now we got so many teams and we got so much talent that we can handle them. But there was a time, man, when the great Wallace Prather was still alive, things would be
might be a little different.
A little different because he helped a lot of kids, he helped a lot of coaches, he mentored a lot of guys, he saved a lot of guys, got a lot of guys that was in coaching that wasn't always making good decisions off the court. He was an amazing human being, and he had an unbelievable impact on my life as a young assistant coach, just kind of making me see the game different and making me see my responsibility to help people. You know, the great Wallace Prather, you know, he made me understand that I had this position, but my job in this position was to help and empower. So he would call me about kids on the Celtics, and I would place them for him. Just, you know, he called me in the morning and said, Chief. That's why I call people Chief right now. Because the great Wallace Prather, Chief, I need to put this kid in junior college. You know, one of my babies right now is the head coach at Wheeler. Larry Thompson. Chief called me 6 in the morning about Larry Thompson. He was out there in Butt Naked, Georgia, getting off. Nobody knew who he was.
Down in Mitchell Baker.
Yeah, he down there. Nobody knew who he was. Chief called me. I put him in junior college, and he was going to go with me to Auburn. And I wound up putting him at South Alabama. And he wound up being an all-league player. And I was scared to bring him to Auburn because we was loaded at the time at the wing. And me and Chief sat down and he said, if you don't need him, because if you put one of my guys somewhere he ain't playing, I'm going to be down there tomorrow. You know what I mean? So I had to put Larry at South Alabama. He wound up being a great player. But respect is the ultimate currency.
For sure.
Not money, not jewels, respect. And I think it's important that we all continue to help each other in this basketball thing. You know, I lost Anthony Edwards last year. Everybody was calling me, man, he was committed to Florida State. And I had been recruiting him since he was born. And at the end, he went to Georgia. And Dollar Bill is like a brother to me, Chad Dollar. And I wanted him. I needed him. But if he felt like this wasn't a fit, I can't be selfish and be mad at him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He got to go where he was successful. I was hurt. I ain't gonna say I wasn't hurt, but I am happy for him, and he's gonna be successful. And I want everybody. You know, I love everybody. I ain't mad at nobody. I ain't trying to fight. You know what I mean? I want everybody to be successful. Yeah, I want everybody to eat. So I try to keep that approach as I go through this profession.
What is the best or the most fun that you've had coaching so far?
That's a tough one. You know, the first time, I had a time in my career where I was fighting to be more than just a recruiter, where I wanted to be respected as a coach. You know, that's a tough thing when people as much. I mean, Huff and I've been together a long time. I guess you guys have heard me speak at clinics. I feel like I got a tremendous amount of knowledge about basketball. And I've been able to teach and develop and coach at a high level for a long time. But sometimes people stereotype you and pigeonhole you into being a recruiter. The last 7 years at Florida State has been unbelievable. Very fulfilling, very enjoyable for us to become one of the top 10 basketball programs in the country, develop pros, the whole nine. But 2005, I was the associate head coach at Chattanooga after getting fired at Auburn. We won the Southern Conference, upset Davidson, beat Tennessee, and lost to Chris Paul and Wake Forest in the tournament. They pulled away at the end, but they never took the lead until like 6 minutes left in the game. John Schumann was the head coach who now just took the job at Alabama Huntsville. He took a chance on me and named me his associate head coach. And it was the first time that nationally people saw me as more than just a recruiter. And we won. And that was a big year for me. I owe him a lot. And I'm very thankful to John Schumann and trying to help him any way I can, because before then I was known as a hired gun that went and got players, which wasn't necessarily the truth, but perception is reality. Down in Florida, becoming the head coach at Georgia Southern changed the way people look at me as a coach. And then with Jalen Hamilton at Florida State, I'm heavily involved in every aspect of the program. And so, you know, he get upset with me if I have to miss practice. He don't want me to, you know, but sometimes I gotta do what I have to do. I gotta stay out here on the front line for Florida State basketball, because we're not a blue blood, but we're trying to make ourselves a blue blood right here where we are. We're trying to earn that respect that they give Kentucky and Duke and North Carolina and Kansas. You know, it hurts my heart sometimes when I recruit kids or families and I build a relationship with them, and then when those schools come, they get. I struggle with that. You know, I don't understand that, and I guess I can't understand it. I mean, but there's been certain instances where, if it's the right place for you, great. But if this situation is a better situation for you, don't go there and be just another horse in the stable.
For sure.
You understand what I'm saying?
For sure.
I believe in my life. Everybody wants to be Michael Jackson at some point. Don't be Tito Jackson. I'm gonna give you the mic. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you the mic. And you stand in the back doing that. Man, listen, my great-grandmother, God bless her dead.
I don't have nothing that's going to top that.
my great-grandmother, God bless her dead, sang in the Cooper Special at St. Mark Missionary Baptist Church, Liberty City. She go to choir rehearsal every Thursday night. Now, good Christian woman. If you go to the third rehearsal and she ain't led a song, she gonna say, God damn now. I lead, step in, Jesus rescue me now. You ain't gonna have me coming up here to rehearsal and I don't lead the song. So my point to you is, everybody want to be Michael Jackson at some point. So I don't understand some of these guys that go do that. Right. And I'm giving you the mic. Yeah. I told Dwayne Bacon, man, listen, you want to be Tito Jackson or Michael Jackson? He said, Chief, I'm going with you. You know what I mean? And that's a tough thing, but we gotta get over the hump. We gotta win a championship to kind of really get that respect. And I feel like we close.
Hey man, that's amazing. So Coach, I believe that you're close as well. Let's end this with give us an outlook of what we can expect from your Florida State team.
The Florida State way: defend, rebound, run the ball down your throat.
Yes,
play unselfishly, and play with a tremendous amount of love and enthusiasm. Yeah. I think that's the thing that we're most proud of over the last 4 years, that when you watch our bench, you watch our team, you see a lot of love. Mm-hmm. You know, MJ Walker is my baby. I've been recruiting him since he was born. I think he's special. A lot of people in Atlanta wanted him to be one and done. He may be a 3-year guy. He may be a 4-year guy. Whatever one is, it's okay. Right? Yeah. It's okay. Terrence Mann was a 4-year guy. He's playing immediately with the Clippers. Beasley and Bacon left early. It took them some time. But the one thing I respect about MJ is no matter what he's going through, he plays hard, unselfishly, and with a tremendous amount of love for the program and for his brothers. And because of that, he's going to be successful. He's going to play, he's going to be a pro. You know what I mean? I think he's Avery Bradley. That's who he guard one through and he scored. Got to improve his decision making, but he's really turning the corner. But MJ is going to lead us. Trent Forrest, Vassell. We got a freshman by the name of Patrick Williams out of Charlotte. That's special. Got some maturing to do, some growing to do. We got a kid by the name of Raquan Gray back, who is like a Draymond Green type special talent. We got a lot of pieces. And Florida State basketball is gone are the days where they're just trying to get into the tournament. That's over.
Yeah. Trying to win it.
Yeah, win it now. And every year, I think we're going to be, right there in the top. And every year they don't rank us. They rank us 31 or 25, and it's the same thing this year. So we keep that chip on our shoulder. Yeah. We see they got certain programs ranked 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we done beat them 5 years in a row. In preseason they ranked,
Hey,
I'm gonna let y'all figure out who that is.
Talk about me like
I
that.
ain't call no name. But
I caught the shot. Come on, man. Don't talk about me like that.
I'm talking in code. But it's amazing to me how much we've accomplished, and we still can't get that national respect. I'll give you an example. It won't hurt. Last year, we played Murray State in the tournament. Y'all got the man up there, John Morant. Put it on him pretty good in the tournament. The game before that, they played Marquette. Now I'm bringing up Marquette because they nowhere in the South. I ain't talking bad about nobody. Murray State put it on Marquette. The next game, we pound Murray State. Now, I just told you I don't get emotional. I read the data, right? Preseason, Marquette is ranked 10. We ain't ranked nowhere. How is that? Help me understand
They
that.
wait for y'all to run it off them first 15 games. After y'all run it off them first 15 games, then they put you in the rankings.
That's how they do it.
But it seems like
Florida
they
State 13-1. What we gonna do?
It's tough, but we got a challenging schedule. You know, I might not need to be talking so soon. You know, we open up with Pitt,
Yeah.
and then we go to Florida, and so we
Tough, yeah.
we got a tough schedule. I wish it was one of those normal years where we had those tune-up games going in.
I saw
So.
that when I said, man, they opened up with Pitt. Like,
But the ACC did that to us.
I know. I was like, what
The
did this
ACC,
happen?
yeah, and Pitt is for real.
Yeah.
You know, truth be told, Pitt put it on us last year up there. Capel's doing a good job there. They got 2 freshman guards that's now sophomores, Xavier Johnson and McGowan. Sure, I think he's a pro. I can't believe.
And his little brother.
Oh Lord, I can't talk about NCAA rules. I can't talk. But McGowan's the older brother is. I cannot believe he was at Pitt and nobody else, and he's right there in North Carolina or South Carolina. Another one of those. But I think at the end, whether we take our lumps early or not, I think at the end we'll be right there fighting to get in the Sweet 16 or do that again.
100%.
So.
Could be a lot of teams in from the ACC this year. A lot of teams could get in. We closing the show our favorite way to close the show. With our next segment is the South Got Something to Say, where Dante Matlock tells us what's going on in South Georgia and make sure that we respect it.
Well, nothing going on. You know, the season just started with tryouts and different things. But I do want to shout out a good friend of mine. He's from South Georgia. A guy named Brandon Anthony. He started his coaching career as a video coordinator at Kennesaw State as the old staff, not getting paid. He did that for 2 years. Then he decided to move to the JUCO, Northwest Florida, with Coach DeMayo. For 2 years, he made $10,000 just coaching. So, you know, I hear a lot of people always say, I want to be a college coach, I want to be a college coach. You got to go through that grind. Now he's the assistant coach at Montevallo, right here. He's assistant coach, and I seen him grind. You know, we grew up playing ball together, ANU, whatever, the local teams down there, and I just seen him grind throughout the years, you know, 4 or 5 years, making $5,000, $10,000. And now he finally got his success, you know, being the Division II coach at Montevallo. So, man, just shout out to him. He's from the South, you know. Shout out to Montevallo. I'm coming to watch y'all play against Jacksonville State this Tuesday in the scrimmage. So shout out to y'all.
Man, Locke always finds a way to further ingratiate himself with the. You know what? I'm about to start repping Louisville like this repping South Georgia on this show. You don't even know it, fellas? Are we on it?
I ain't thought about nothing.
Hey, this the toughest. This the toughest segment of our show,
really
right?
is.
Where we tell people what things that they may be sleeping on, whether it's basketball related, player related, music related, TV shows, something that people may be sleeping on and didn't catch. I see guys out because Morehouse homecoming this weekend. Lock Bryce out of it this weekend.
I'm not out of it.
got one?
I'm good.
If you ain't know, you got to go see Dolomite on Netflix. Like, I went back, after I watched that, I went and watched the original Dolomite. Well, I can't say funny as hell. Well, it was like from beginning to end. You have to watch that movie, like 18 and over. You have to watch that movie. Dolomite is where it's at right now.
For me, I'm coming off a long weekend. It's been a long weekend. But anyway, I feel like a lot of kids sleep on HBCU basketball. And not just the basketball side of it, but you get a whole different side with the student life, the homecoming life, you know, and we know for being in AUC, Morehouse, whatever, you're not going to get that experience anywhere else. So for me, it's like if a school like that offers you, don't act like you're too good for that.
100%.
Reply to
Because you're going to get an education, you're going to play big-time basketball, and then Morehouse has had some pros in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
No question.
And then you're going to have a homecoming experience that you're going to remember for the rest of your life, as well as people you went to school with for the rest of your life. So I think a lot of times we're not selling that. Like, we got to sell that. So that's my thing. I'm coming up, like I said, long weekend, we do what we do. But don't sleep on it.
Hey, man, if you're going to sign your letter of intent or commit to Morehouse or Clark, please come by and do it on the show.
Please.
We want to support HBCUs, so if you're committing to one of our local schools, please come by and do it on the show. If you decommit, we're coming for you. Not your commitment live on the show.
I'm just gonna piggyback with my brother, my Morehouse brother B, and just say, you ain't even know it, that you can always tell a Morehouse man, but you can't tell him much. And I'll leave it at that.
Wow.
All right, hey, we gotta let Coach do it. That's the
Man,
new rule on the guest.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I was just wondering if I was gonna get some love. My man. That sounds good. My man.
That's the new
now,
rule.
let me. Now I love y'all guys. Now I love y'all. I ain't mad at you. I ain't trying to fight.
Yeah.
But I do got one bone to pick with you guys.
All right.
Now every week I see Ja Morant and Zion Williamson up here. Now, Atlanta got a lot of silverback gorillas.
That's true.
We need to pay respect to Lewis Williams, to Deion Glover, to Derek Favors, to come on, man, give me something. Now.
It's a great idea.
It should be.
We gotta put
Jermaine Jones. It's a bunch of every week. It should be a gorilla from Georgia.
You hear that
on the
SUV?
show.
You hear that?
That's my recommendation.
Get these subscriptions up.
We'll be sharing our Cash App. We'll be sharing our Cash App shortly, where you guys can send donations.
TV.
And
I think that's
a
gotta
heck
happen.
of an idea.
I think that's gotta
That is
happen.
a-
And we
Amazing
have a
idea,
listener out there who's willing to help us out with this. We'll take it.
We'll upgrade our studio home for sure. That's a heck of an idea. A different killer every week.
Every week. Every week.
We got
There's
enough.
so many of them.
We got enough to celebrate them all. Yeah, for sure.
So many of them.
Sure. I gave y'all TV shows for you didn't even know it last week. If you were not watching last week, I ranked them. Your top 3 TV shows that you have to watch, especially if you're an OG, you're an old head. The Wu-Tang Saga was number 1. Snowfall was number 2. And then Power when you're bored.
Wow.
Look, man, after season 5, bro, come on. We're going music this week.
Okay.
If you're an OG, that Jim Jones El Capo album
That Jim Jones
is
go
the
hard.
best album of the year. It is so slept on.
Jim
In
Jones.
2019, Jim Jones' album was the best album of the year.
I ain't listened to Jim Jones since Ballin'.
Right. Fly high.
We fly high.
Fam,
Ballin'.
this album has bangers. Like you looking for an album when you in the car and you don't want to keep skipping songs and trying to find a new. Just put that El Capo album and let it ride, dog. Let it ride. Hey, I'm telling you, the joint with Fat Joe on there, bang.
That's not bad. I seen the video.
I have to
seen
take a
the video.
listen, man.
That-
It's straight. I heard a few singles. It's
I'm
legit.
telling you, album of the year. I'm telling you.
I want to know what he's playing. He's from Miami. So what you rocking in the
Hey,
locker room?
you know
Yeah.
what, man? I listen to a little bit of everything. I try to keep up with the kids.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I can tell I'm getting old now. I need an interpreter. But I'm on a little baby and little baby.
Yeah, we going baby on baby.
Yeah. And then I've been getting a little delicate with the little Wale. You know what I mean?
okay.
I've been
Hey,
getting a
new
little.
Wale album.
Yeah, I like that.
It's
I
tight.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I usually
tight.
don't like remakes of songs. I usually get, I usually get frustrated by that
Right.
when these young Thundercats remake these.
Yeah.
He remade "Just Ask of You" by Tony, but the remake with Wale on Chill.
Chill. Number one song.
I've been riding to that. I've been riding to that.
Shout out to Wale. That was an incredible album too.
A DC Maryland native. Another. That's 2 on the show. I'm done.
In the show.
Hey, you right. That's it. We out of here before Bryce does it again. This was the Love of the Game podcast. Thank you, our incredible guest, CY on the show today. Blessed us with gems.
Yes.
We got clips forever after this. Thank everybody for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to go like, subscribe, follow SUV TV, subscribe to their channel, download the app, support our partners. Be looking for clips of the show. Full episode will be out. See you
Tell a
soon.
friend.
Tell a friend. Tell a friend. It's the Love of the Game podcast, and we out.